And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the RSL 2026 RSL Revival Season 5 Playoffs Day 4 co-stream. I'm, of course, RSL VIP. With him, joined by these amazing players by the Hoon Chat, and, of course, by our main casters as well, Gemini and State. Welcome, welcome, and all. Bienvenidos. We are back. We have returned with our second day of the week here when it comes to the RSL playoffs. Again, we are almost concluded. Next week will be the final week of playoffs, and you can see our upcoming matches ahead of us here. Bam, having a look at the bracket itself, we do have a herO versus Solar facing off in the upper portion of the bracket in the upper semifinals, followed by Clem versus Lambo. Those are going to be today's matches. Next week we have the remainder of the bracket, which is going to be the lower bracket, of course, the upper bracket finals, and then the grand finals thereafter. Oh boy. So again, 2 days left. Oh, sorry, 2 weeks. 2 weeks left here for the RSL Season 5 event. And tonight's broadcast is going to consist of 2 best of 5s. Solar versus herO and Clem versus Lambo. Let's go. Let us go. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos. Good to see you. Shema, papi Shema. Bienvenidos. I see Steelbold in the chat as well. Solensbard. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you all. Whew, has this been a very intense week of StarCraft, not gonna lie. I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to next week when RSL comes to an end, because it's just been non-stop StarCraft with RSL and GSL layered upon each other. These tournament organizers, they gotta schedule themselves, because because having GSL and RSL like in the same week for multiple weeks on end has been pretty intense. It's been pretty intense, and we'll get through it. we'll make it. We'll make it. Bearing in mind that Masters of the Game is right after this. So once RSL concludes, once GSL concludes, Masters of the Game will start back up, and then we have Home Story Cup on the horizon as well. So still a lot of content, still a lot of StarCraft. Meanwhile, big shout out to the main sponsor of the event, to Archon Studio. Archon Studios for, of course, creating the StarCraft tabletop miniatures game, and of course for sponsoring, and for soon to be releasing their product, by the way, that is on the horizon also by the end of the month. Oh boy, there's a lot going on, papi. Yeah. But again, our first series is going to be a best of 5 between herO and Solar. Coming to our matches here, shout out to those, I was going to say shout out to RSL for opening it up to an international audience, but that has been the case for quite some time. Again, Clem, he's looking like a beast as of late, so is herO. Solar has been struggling. If you're watching GSL, Solar failed to make it out of the round of 12. Solar, he's out of the round of 12 of GSL, so very early on. So Solar, he is hungry. He's hungry for a good result. He's hungry for better tournament standings, but he's up against herO, you know, the best Protoss player in the world. So it's not an easy opponent. Hopefully Solar has been spending this time in preparation for these matches, as he cannot hold back. Not here. I mean, I say that. Thankfully, there is a lower bracket, so there's a bit of a safety net to catch the losing player, but you don't want to be down there, right? You don't want to be down there. You don't want to be on the lower bracket.
herO Solar, this is just going to be a crazy match, and then, of course, any of them going against the Zergs in the lower bracket. I mean, you don't want to play those players this early on in the tournament, I would say.
Yeah, but it's also exciting as a caster and as a fan, because it means that no matter how this bracket shakes out, we're going to get some incredible matches over today and next week.
We're very happy. The players aren't, but we
have the vetoes.
Are feasting.
So we have our vetoes here. Game 1 at Eternity's Edge. Game 2, Rorschach, followed by Necropolis, Celestial Enclave, and Ruby Rock. I should also very quickly add on that when it comes to our map pool for this tournament, it is a custom map pool that has some ladder maps, it has some TLMC maps, and it has some older last season maps as well. So there's a bit of a mixture going on here. At Eternity's Edge and Rorschach, those are 2 new TLMC maps. Celestial Enclave and Ruby Rock, those are ladder maps, and Necropolis is an older TLMC map. So we have a nice mixture of a best of 5 going on here, and we'll see how our players will approach each other. Which jumping straight into the first game. Oh my god!
On at Eternity's Edge. What a strange map to say. On attack. Great
intro, Gemini.
Start playing.
As always, happy to have you here. As herO spawns in the top left, is the blue Protoss. Solar down in the bottom right as the red Zerg. No early probe scout, by the way, from herO, which makes me wonder.
Early join. In the bottom right hand corner, we do have the South Korean Zerg player in Solar.
I feel like with herO, you either get the probe going out
Top left representing T1, it is herO.
Which is this guy's
And very quickly, if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Coming into this, I would say that herO's favored, but Solar, he is a strong player in his own right, and he's being cheeky going for the proxy hatch.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Very cool. I'm curious to see how this shapes up, especially considering that herO is not scouting since he's going for the full green.
So something that we did mention when it comes to our analysis of this map for at Attorney's Edge, the rush distance by ground is very short on that right-hand side. So Solar, he immediately just rushes across the map, goes to the proxy hatchery, early pool, no gas geyser by the way. So no link speed, no roaches. It's purely going to be a spine rush. That's why another drone just got sent. Whoa, hold on. He's rushing into the high yield gas. He's crazy.
On that right there. So very curious to see what Solar's going to be doing.
It's going to be a roach all in with high yield gas proxied. That's insane.
I guess maybe just to mine from the gas as well.
Yeah, to mine for the gas.
Yeah, I guess what
are you even going to do with this?
It's
like,
got to
so
be
interesting.
It's got to be for Roach Ravager.
It's going to be roaches.
You need this much gas if you're going to do something like a Baneling bust. Although I might be proven wrong here. It feels
there's a roach
it's going to be for roaches. And look at how well,
as you mentioned, but this is a crazy build on that Attorney's Edge.
Mines the high yield vest.
He's crazy.
Gas. It arrives at the hatchery to drop it off. Oh, this is a really cool build that we're seeing from Solar. Now herO's going to find this out. Now the one thing that is good for herO is that he went for the greediest build imaginable. He didn't get the scout off, but that means that his Stargate is going to be the fastest it could possibly be.
So here he sees a Roach Horn, so he knows, right? He sees the early Roach Horn. He's aware of the all-in. Going for a Stargate opener, he could go Void Ray first.
Unfortunately for herO, he does throw it down just a little bit later than the optimal timing, and now he's seeing the Ling, so he knows there is a proxy hatch close to his base, but he doesn't know it's going to be these roaches. He scouted no gas in the main base of Solar. He might think this is going to be spines.
Yeah, that's it.
No, he saw the Roach Horn, so he knows gases are taken. Yeah, shout out to the Observer.
Very good, so you will get the confirmation where this proxy
State's like, yo, he might think it's a spine rush. And it's like, no, he saw the Roach Horn, and the Observer pointed it out as well. Shout out to the Observer. Shout out to old mate Ziggy. Sorry, I mean Mapu.
Doesn't want to get jumped, so needs to stay clear from that wall for now, waiting for the rest of the units. But yeah, we're going to be getting some units out from the Stargate. Yeah, I like that Void Ray first. Just get that consistent.
So mentioned Void Ray first here. It's going to be very tight defense for herO. There's going to be some anti-air in the Queen.
But you could also
on the Biles.
On the batteries. A couple of Biles getting thrown down on the pylon for now, as there's no healing because the batteries are not here.
Yeah, the battery's a little bit too late. The Stalker barely. No, it's going to get out. No, it survives.
With some of these Ravagers and the pylon getting killed off. That is an Artosis pylon, absolutely, as everything is getting depowered, and now there's nothing here. The Void Ray needs to save the day.
Yeah, everything's depowered. It all goes down. Void Ray does arrive and will zone away the army, but there's still that Queen. Ooh, the Biles don't quite connect. Now a second Queen has arrived, and Solar's taking over the natural.
On herO's base.
Taking over.
herO's doing the smart thing right now. He's sacrificing the natural expansion. He's building shield batteries in the main base. He's just trying to stay in this game against the 17 drones of Solar, and Solar giving a nod to that. He's starting drones back at home, slowly trickling some out. But there still is knockout potential here for Solar. He might be able to push up that ramp and get her out of this game, because really the only production herO's got is this.
I don't see Solar pushing up this ramp just because of the Void Rays. I mean, the Biles, oh my god, they do graze the army. But I mean, what's the answer to the Void Rays? The Queen's kind of support. They're too far behind. Like Ravagers being focused down.
Off is herO as the Queens are still on the ramp, dishing out some damage.
Yeah, he's gonna get 1, 2, 3. He's gonna get all 4 Ravagers.
So
and the
now
Queens.
It's just the Roaches. They're going to try to go around and try to kill off as many probes as possible, since he can't really kill these Void Rays.
Yeah, there's a pulsar beam. It does focus on the Roaches. There's 2 Roaches left. The Queens get surrounded, and Solar overextends. He should not have gone up this ramp. GG gets called, and the all-in fails.
Wow, herO actually defending that with no intel that was coming until the last possible second.
I thought we might have another Queen being added in. I thought it might be a bit of a slow push up the ramp there by Solar, given that he took
GG. GG, well played. As you mentioned, like Solar, there was no way for him to push up that ramp, so I was shocked that he went for it. I was shocked that he pushed up the ramp just because there were 2 Void Rays with a bunch of batteries, and yes, technically there's anti-air in those Queens, but they are so slow off of creep. They could not support. They could not move in, so the Roach Ravager pushed too far forward. It got engaged ahead of time. Ravagers went down first, and by the time the Queens arrived, the Ravagers had already been killed, right? The Ravagers are already gone. Roach is already being focused on as well. So Solar, he just ran out of steam, ran out of army. I mean, Solar did well when it comes to breaking that natural base, but I do think that he got a little bit too greedy there, pushing up the ramp. As Stade is alluding to, he's like, oh, I thought it was going to be a bit of a slower approach, a slower push. That would have had potentially more success. It's just difficult because the moment that you try to slow things down, that gives the opportunity for someone like herO for a counterattack, for example, to move out with the Void Rays. And if you push up the ramp, you can always just recall, right? You can always just recall back home. So like things can get a little bit more awkward because of the mobility of the Stargate army and the Stargate units. So it was a really rough position there for Solar, and GG. It was a really cool build. It was a really cool build, but GG.
That's for sure. That was a very map-specific build. I'd very much be surprised if we see that one yet again. But we're going to be going into Rorschach as our next map. It's going to be map number 2, seeing if Solar can maybe bring out some more cheeky stuff.
Sagadayan, he got all of the Stalker 2 gaming. True.
2-0 start to the series.
All right, after a fast game number 1, herO spawning down here in the bottom right of Rorschach as the blue Protoss. Solar in the bottom left as the red Zerg.
How about that? There we go.
I still can't get over the previous game. I mean, what a unique build.
Yeah.
Kind of exploiting the high yield Vespian gas. It
was
didn't
cool.
quite work out there for Solar in the end. But I would love to see a couple more games like that, if not in the RSL, then perhaps in the GSL or in some of their online tournaments, because I haven't seen too many of them. And I feel like we didn't get to the bottom of the potential for a build like that one.
Yeah,
I think there
I would actually I would agree with Stade here in the sense that I feel like that build that Solo went for has potential, but I think the biggest issue with it is that it only had, I would say it only has potential because the map is new. Once players get more accustomed to the idea of this being a possibility, they're going to be so much faster at checking and scouting, right? We saw the same thing on maps that have like closer gold bases. Very commonly, like we'd often see them be used early on, and then players got used to scouting, used to checking, used to punishing, and then that kind of died down. So I do think early on in the season, like there's potential for shenanigans like that, and may as well make use of that. But as the season progresses, as players get more used to these maps and more used to the meta, then that kind of like dies down over time. Which is one of the reasons why fresh map pools are so important, because they allow for things like that. They allow for some new, obscure, and fun builds that might not have the longest lifespan. But that's also why, like, you know, the maps can at times get stale over time, and why you want to refresh and rejuvenate that map pool as well.
Like,
yeah,
the
that's
Stargate
also
being thrown down.
Yeah.
Say if the Protoss is like prioritizing minerals at home instead of gas and going for a relatively fast probe scout, the probe scout might be pretty confusing. You know, you would go into the main base of the Zerg, you would see no gas, but you would see a pool and you would see no hatchery. And then you're likely going to go on the map and try and find out what's going on. You wouldn't actually catch wind that it's going to be a roach swarm because the gas timing window has basically been missed, right?
It looks like they're still discussing the build itself.
Had herO gone for that sort of opening, maybe the Stargate would be a little bit delayed. But in any case, herO taking game number 1. Now we're going to game number 2. Cybernetic score is finished here for herO. It's a less greedy opening from herO since he did go for the probe scout, but we still have a very quick Stargate coming in. Let's see where this game's going to take us.
Yeah, double Adept going to be coming out, so it's going to be a bit aggressive.
As I mentioned so far, say that open out of herO. Welcome to Rorschach. Rorschach has a short rush distance by ground. So short rush distance by ground has a healing pad in the center, has the gold base on the top side, and has hybrid bases on the south side as well. So there's a lot of unique features about the map itself, and typically this map favors aggression. It favors aggression, so we're expecting, obviously not the same build as last game, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see an all-in again.
Sneaky himself, so it's a little bit difficult to know exactly where these Adepts are going to be coming from. Maybe you're going to be able to skip past.
Oh, a Void Ray opener. Okay.
Clearing out the map for everything, and even going for Void Ray after this as well. So really trying to make sure he denies as much vision with these Adepts and the Void Ray.
Oh, he's going for the hybrid expansion. He's crazy. they're all crazy. Now, specifically, this base on Rorschach is very isolated. Like he's asking to be all in.
Oh, did they? But I can't remember. I remember someone doing. I think Rogue did this actually. I think Rogue tried to take that base and did some like early like Zergling all in or something like that, and it didn't work. But it was an interesting thing to try to bring out, because again, it does have these extra gold minerals. It's this interesting half base. You don't ever see a base like this. I feel like this is a very unique feature to this map, that we have a half gold, half regular mineral base. So
yes, we call that a hybrid expansion, which is not the first time we've seen it, by the way. It's been around for a while.
Find it out pretty early. So gigs up for.
If you remember, hybrid bases also featured on washouts. True.
So let's see what Solar does to react.
I'm not sure how much the mineral income is of a typical gold base.
Oh, that is at
Obviously,
410 layer timing, so very early layer here out of Solar. herO going for a bit of an earlier Forge and Twilight Council, walling up and walling off.
The income is still substantial, and you're feeling good. But this one, because of the fact that it has 4 gold and 4
He fully
minerals,
walls.
and look at this. He full walls in this gigantic ramp.
That is
and
crazy.
he can recall probes either from the natural expansion or the main base to get in here.
There's a
and
mineral
saturate
wall.
this.
Sorry, mineral path, right?
Oh, this is a very cool opening coming in by herO.
Yeah, so bearing in mind he doesn't have to recall, there is a mineral path towards that base.
I do like this. This is very
This
cool.
is awesome.
As you can see.
Is he gonna, how? Oh, there's a worker only path. That's right.
Yeah, now they just realized.
Again, I don't realize, yeah, there is right above the gases.
Oh my God, we're all done.
No, that's.
I also didn't even know that was there.
I've only casted so many games here.
Yeah,
on
I
Rorschach,
literally didn't even know that was there. It's hilarious.
Same age to my head. It's so good.
Cool.
So
Well, that
triple
makes it
void
even
though.
easier to go
Triple
for
void
that.
moving
Yeah,
up.
that's very nice. Doesn't even have to waste the recall energy.
All right, so it's gonna be 4 more gateways being built right now by herO.
3
Yo, are we
void
going full 2020? Are we just gonna focus on the base? No shot.
No way he
It's
just
just
kills
so-
this.
You never see something like this. There's no transfuse available. Of course, the Spore Crawler and the 2 Queens are going to force herO to get
Ooh,
away.
Spore goes down. Saves the base,
I mean, killing
thankfully.
a Spore is quite nice, dude. Obviously makes it much more easy to go back and forth with the Void Rays or potential Oracles as well. Lots of Lings trying
So
to
very
fire
quick
down
reaction there by
this
Solar
wall.
to unburrow and reburrow that Spore to be able to buy time, right? Sure, he didn't kill a Void Ray, but he saved the hatchery.
herO supply block. That's why he can't warp in or defend with
Oh,
this at all.
that's
He's been at
hilarious.
76 out of 77 for a little while now.
Protoss moment.
It's all right. We're
so
throwing down
funny.
like 4 or 5 pylons right now. Everything's gonna be fine.
That's so funny.
Oh.
Mutas as well coming out from Solar on the back end here. So
Oh,
it's going
yeah,
to be
Spire to
a
Mutas.
pretty, I feel like unexpected tech coming out.
So
as herO
I've been
forces
distracted
to
by what
be
herO is doing, and herO by rushing into this hybrid expansion is going to have a boosted economy. Charge is on the way, +1 is on the way. I believe herO wants to try to hit with his own charge timing attack and be hyper committed and hyper aggressive. But Mutas are on the horizon, and we'll see who hits first.
Taking his 3rd Vespene Geyser. So herO,
Here comes 7
not a lot of
Mutas.
gas to the bank. Charge is done, but Blink has not yet started. There's only Void Rays, no Phoenix. And Blink only just now begun, so it's going to be pretty tricky for herO to try and deal.
Basically, herO is going for an all-in, and Solar's going to have Mutas, but the DPS rate of the Mutas is going to be quite low. Can he pull this off?
The damage here from the Zealots. The Mutas are going to be very slow at actually cleaning this up. So
Shout out to the Observer. The Observer does point out it's a 10-gate 3-base all-in.
down instead going for the Roaches first. It's a logjam here.
Breaks down the wall.
And the natural expansion, and now the Mutas connecting with
He's
the
getting some of the
Void Rays, able to
queens.
clean both of them up. The problem is there's just so many Zealots, Gemini.
Yeah, that is a lot of charge lots. Some of them
Oh
are
my
weakened,
God.
and the micro is still pretty decent from Solar, keeping some of these queens alive and making sure
Yeah,
that they can transfuse
nice
each
kiting.
other
Wow.
to try and body block. for
Very
as long
nice
as
kiting out of
possible.
Solar.
That really did help to make sure that those can stay alive for as long as possible as well. A couple more getting into the main base. We'll be able to kill just a few drones, but that is a nice defense
And that's it.
from Solar. And
I mean, the herO, he's got a
so
second
much
wave, but
supply
now it's even worse here. herO, he's running out of steam. That's all he had. The all-in fails.
With the Roaches and the Mutas, and now what does herO have to defend?
Just one shield battery.
That's
and a
it. Nothing. He has nothing. He's got two Phoenixes.
Expansion here for herO. He's going to be trying to find another target. Nice micro there by Solar, getting some damage on the Phoenix. Is the main base of herO defended? The Muta's already taken down.
So we have the Maynard soundboard.
And
Nothing.
I think these Mutas eventually are going to get cleaned up. Solar is already focused entirely on the Roach switch.
And with that, this third base is going to go down. Like, there's no saving the third. We mentioned earlier, this base is just very isolated. It's very isolated. It's very exposed. It's so difficult to defend.
Tech snipe like that one, and I think there just might be too many Roaches and Ravagers here, Gemini.
Denies the warp in.
This is looking really bad for herO. The warp in also getting canceled as the pylon gets killed off. There's really nothing here for herO to defend against this. He's just desperately trying to lift up a couple Ravagers with just 3 Phoenixes, and there's still the Mutas lurking around as well. All the probes getting killed off at this half gold base. Yeah, this is just looking absolutely cooked for herO right now. This is a very good response from Solar.
It's looking cooked, Pappy. True, true.
For a bit of a risky play
God damn it,
himself, such a
Gemini.
fast Spire in general, but it definitely did pay off in
Not wrong
great,
there.
great amount right here. I mean, herO is he's dead. Let's be honest with you. Let's not do the caster moment where it's like, oh, maybe he can find his way back here. But no, this is looking pretty bad for him, man.
Well, maybe Gemini, maybe herO can fight his way back here. He's got a lot of Zealots and Stalkers. No, it's
Yo, State is helping just an insane amount of copium right now. Oh my god. State, put the copium down, buddy. Put it down.
I mean,
It's too
He's
much.
doing the play-by-play, John.
Don't OD,
Going
Pappy.
well.
Don't OD.
If he just lifts up, if he could just lift up a few more roaches and just maybe, oh, if I could just micro a little bit harder. No, it's not.
I mean, it is excellent control here by herO, and he is staying alive in the natural expansion. The problem is that the writing's kind of on the wall right now with 38 probes
If I could
versus
just get a
70
few more
drones.
weapons, oh, come on, it's like a little bit more energy on the battery. I can do it.
Yeah, the 4 bases for Solar to the 2 expansions here from herO. Even if herO is able to get on the map and secure a 3rd base, he's not going to have any answer to the follow-up coming in by herO. There's so many Hydras on the field now. herO knows it. GG is called, and we're all tied up 1-1.
GG, well played with that. A fun fact, by the way, in regards to this series, both games, the all-in has failed. We saw a really fun, really interesting, really quirky build from Solar in Game 1, and really fun, interesting, quirky build from herO in Game 2. And what we're learning about this series is that the creativity is being punished. With Solar rushing into the high-yield gas base to go for the Roach all-in, that failing. With herO rushing into the hybrid gold base to go into a 10-gate charge all-in, and that failing as well. But GG, well played. Regardless, I appreciate that both players are being creative and both players are being very exploratory regarding the maps themselves. I appreciate it. It's not working. It's not working for anyone, but I appreciate it nonetheless. That they're willing to explore a little bit more and willing to branch out in both Game 1 and Game 2. I appreciate it.
It's like not actually hitting it before anything really happens. Like he's able to get that many roaches, able to get that many mutas out before a charge lot all in happens. It's like, well, what's the purpose of it here? I guess it's just not quite hitting fast enough. I don't know.
Yeah, I would have liked to seen some blink play behind that, but in any case, guys, I want to give a big shout out to our supporters here on Patreon, and if you're not yet a supporter on Patreon, we invite you.
They could have been anything behind it, and it would not have been enough, unfortunately, just because of how committed herO was to the 10-gate all-in, because of the lack of gas as well, the lack of follow-up. So whether it would have been Phoenix is behind it or Blinkstalkers behind it, it would not have mattered in regards to just the lack of damage that was dealt there by herO. I think it's important to emphasize that the charge all-in didn't do any economic damage, did kill a couple of queens, did break into the natural, but remember, Solar did an amazing job at kiting back, at reducing surface area and minimizing losses against the charge all-in, which is why the counterattack hit so hard. So regardless, GG well played. With that, we're going to be going on a short break. We'll be back soon with our next game. See you soon.
No, okay, so he didn't really lose a lot. I mean, you're kind of fine training your army. He kept both bases alive.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew, we have returned with the RSL Revival StarCraft League 2026 Season 5 Playoffs Day number 4 co-stream. We're currently mid-series. We're mid-series here with herO versus Solar. So far, we're tied up 1-1, but so far it's been a very short series. Non-stop all-ins. Non-stop all-ins from both players, which is to be expected in the current meta, to be fair. But so far, the all-ins have been failing. But once again, as I reiterated, just to reiterate, I do appreciate that the all-ins or the builds that we've been seeing have been very catered towards the maps themselves. But now we're going to be going back to basics here, in a sense. Let's go back in. Let's jump on into Game 3. We're going to be loading into Necropolis.
Yeah, and I would like to have a longer game between these two, but I wouldn't mind if it wasn't a standard one.
They're talking about macro? In 2026 StarCraft, they're crazy, bro. They're crazy. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Necropolis, we have the South Korean Zerg player. The red Zerg, it is Solar. And in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have representing T1. It is herO. The South Korean Protoss. Let's go. Now, to be fair, when it comes to potentially seeing a longer game, there's a good chance of that happening here in Necropolis. Very quickly discuss the map before we get into our lovely co-stream and our casters as well. This map is a lot more defensive. There is a ramp coming to the natural, so because of that, your 2-base setup is very defendable, and your 3rd base is on the high ground, and likewise, we have minimal attack entrances into the 3rd as well. I will say that the area on the low ground here that you can see before you, in between the 3rd and the natural, is abusable. That is true. So you can try to assault and try to outposition your opponent. So there are some aggressive options, but as opposed to map 1 and map 2, I would say that this map has less aggressive features and we might see some mid-game play. That's a big maybe though. We mentioned this previously, but right now in the meta, it is very common to be hyper aggressive, and very rarely do you see someone like Solar embrace a longer and later game. ZVP right now is in a game state where most, if not all, Zerg players are trying to end the game early. I say most, if not all, because obviously there's one exception, that is herO. Like herO, he does embrace the late game, he does embrace a different kind of mantra and different kind of approach. But when it comes to all the other Zerg players, especially the Korean Zerg players, so think Shin, Solar, and Rogue, they're all hyper aggressive. So we'll keep an eye on Solar. So far, standard openers, but we're looking for big signs of tech. So Lair first, gas timings, Roach Horn first, Evo Chamber first. Waiting to see how Solar wants to approach this.
Styles, I feel like, just has its own flair to them. It's always like a game you can watch and you're just like, okay, this is a herO game. Like, this is the way he does it, just the amount of oracles he might make.
herO, likewise, what makes him scary and what makes him the best Protoss player in the world is that he can be very dynamic. He can play standard, he can play macro, or he can be also hyper aggressive, which we saw last game, right? He went for a big 3-base all-in with 10 gateways. It failed, but shows us that he's willing to get down and dirty as well.
It really kind of varies between game to game, so we'll see how aggressive he wants to be with everything.
And herO opting to go for the Adept first in this game. We'll see if he follows up with another Adept in the Stargate behind it. And it's going to be a Stalker. herO's been favoring this quite a bit recently. Oh, cancels it. He's juking me right now. I can't remember if it was herO or Classic, but somebody has been going Adept into Stalker quite recently, early on, just because I think that, you know, with the sport change and also with Zerg players simply just getting better with the sport timings and with their queen movements, Oracles, it feels like, at least in this season of the RSL and the recent season of the GSLs, they're not getting quite as much damage done in the early game as you would typically expect to see. And so oftentimes, Zerg or Protoss players, they're pivoting instead to go into a pretty fast Stalker, and they just use the Oracle to get vision of any Overlords that might be on the map so that they can pick them off. But here on Necropolis, of course, there is that dead airspace by the natural.
So I'll be like, you know what, State, that's great and all that you're talking about Stalker openers, but that's not what we're seeing this game. And we also have a Void Ray first, which is more worth bringing up. So early Stargate opener into a Void Ray once again out of herO. This is a lot more unorthodox. Last game we saw this, and it led into a 3-base all-in. The goal of the Void Ray is to hunt down Overlords. Now again, last game this Void Ray opener did lead into a 3-base all-in with 10 gateways, but it doesn't have to lead into an all-in. But it can. Like, that's what's scary about a Void Ray, is that it makes it more difficult for the Zerg player to scout and to respond. So once again, a very unique opener here by herO, prioritizing, minimizing, or prioritizing just the denial of vision. Meanwhile, Solar, look at his tech, Evo Chamber first. That's a sign of plus on melee. That is a sign of a standard build, of a more mid-game build.
And then once he finally combs the map of any of these Destroy Overlords, then he'll go back to the natural, then he can finally take that one down to the pocket.
This is a very smart way to go about it. Of course, my dumb Protoss brain, I just look at the first Overlord right in front of my natural. I'm like, God, I gotta kill this thing right now. It's gonna see what I'm doing. It's gonna see my totally normal build. Oh my God.
What was the psychological experiment they did, like with children and candy? It's just like, if you don't eat this candy now, we'll give you more candy in 5 minutes. And Gemini's just like, I see a Twix. I am eating it.
Give that to me. Chocolate in my mouth right now. God damn it, give it to me. Yeah. No, I see that Overlord, I pounce, man. I don't want to lose that thing. It's gonna find
behind this cover, Twilight Council and Stargate, sorry, Twilight Council and Forge. Follow up here, double Oracle, denying vision, denying scouting. It's still a little bit in the air whether this is going to be a Blink-based follow-up or charge. I'm leaning towards Blink, but eyes are going to be on Hero. Meanwhile, Solo went for +1 melee, which is standard. That's why we mentioned the early Evo chamber, +1 melee into Ling Hydra. The Baneliness is a bit of a twist, though.
That we're trying to guard that tower on the right-hand side. So pretty nice here. Pretty nice start here for herO as he's going out into Templar Tech, adding in more gateways, charge and blink, or charge and blink, not, excuse me, charge and +1 ground weapons getting started.
Doing double Twilight.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of StarCraft casting recently, Gemini. I'm a little bit more scatterbrained than I usually am.
It all happens to the best of the state. Anyways, double Oracle coming on back in, trying to see what they can find. We'll just kind of...
It's okay, Pappy. It's okay. There has been a lot of StarCraft going on. There has been.
You know, drones moving around, sees the lair being morphed as well, so nothing crazy going on there. And we'll also, I believe, see no Roach Warren and does see the Baneling Nest and that upgrading Evo chamber. So should know
confirms the chamber.
Going to be a Roachless game for now, as a couple of Adepts will try to find their way into the third base, focus down a few of those drones, and do a pretty good job of that, killing off 7, probably even 8 if it could just get this last...
the transfuse!
Oh my God, Solar's sick.
He's crazy.
Nice little Adept harass still, though, but 7 is, not exactly what you want to be losing to that.
Yeah, nice move there by herO, even coming with Oracles now into the
Jesus,
main base.
10 drones in total.
Taking a little bit of the damage from
That's
the
insane.
Pick off some more drones. That
so Solar is being crippled. This is where I have to push back against what Stay was saying. How he was discussing about how, like, oh no, recently we've been seeing a little like Stalker-based openers, and you make less Oracles because players have been getting better at defending. I mean, Solar's still one of the best Zerg players in the world, and still 10 drones go down, critical damage, and Solar's going for what? A Bane Bust. Look at the production tab. We have 20 Lings in production. Here comes the Bane Bust. Solar, he's going for his own timing, he's going for his own borderline all-in. His drone count is very low, he's down 20 workers, but he busts through the front door. He breaks in.
Yeah, and I mean, we all know that herO's got some wonky walls, and that is a pylon in the wall as well. Going to take much less Banelings than normal to be able to kill that off. So
Banelings roll into the main base, they roll into the mineral line, Lings at the same time they hit the third base. We have Lings in every single expansion. Yeah, Lings in all the bases, and the Banelings, oh no, they can he connects, Pappy, 37.
38 probes in total.
38.
As the Nexus also tries to get targeted.
Can we get more?
And more Lings ransack the third.
Oh my
These are
God.
effectively the last probes that herO has in this game, with some nice mineral micro there. herO is able to pick up the Zerglings. He's able to retain a count of 32 probes in total. I think they are literally all at that third base. It's so overpopulated right now. He's got to transfer back to the natural expansion, but what a well-timed attack by Solar, just hitting at the moment of weakness, right before Storm is done, right before herO has any Templar, or any Archons, I should say, on the board. Picking off, what, 2 full bases worth of probes.
So,
and herO also trading out quite a bit of army.
I wouldn't be surprised, by the way, because remember, we spoke about it earlier, how the Baneling Nest from Solo was very abnormal. We were like, oh, the Baneling Nest, we're getting a little bit spicy here. Like, there's a bit of a twist. That was the verbiage that we used, a bit of a twist to Solo's build. And now we see why. Again, you typically don't get a Baneling Nest in ZVP, not this early on. Now we see the purpose of it was for the Bane Bust. I believe the Baneling Nest was a reaction to the Void Ray. How does that make sense? Because of the Void Ray opener, there were less Oracles. Because there are less Oracles, there's less vision. Because there's less vision, there's a lower chance that herO sees the Bane Bust coming, and herO didn't see it. He didn't see the Bane Bust coming. He didn't see it at all. He was woefully underprepared, and that's why it dealt so much damage. Stay was praising like the timing of it. I would push back against that, and more obviously the big thing was the fact that it was hidden, the fact that herO didn't know what was going on, and then bam, you know, Bane Bust hits the natural base, and I mean that's game-ending damage, right? That's been game-ending damage. Here he's limping along. Yes, here he is building up an army, and he's got Archons and High Templar and Storm, but the size of the army here is very, very small for herO, and Solar's going for a second wave. Look at the drone count. Solar is not droning. He's cutting workers at 69. Nice. He could drone up further, up to 4 base saturation and tech up into Hive. He's not. He's staying with a Lair Tech army instead.
He's an unconventional player. He's thinking about attacking right now, so he's actually going to meet the army of Solar right in front of the third base.
And again, the hero's all in. Ah, then again, the Lings. They bust into the main. The Banelings. Oh my god.
Opening there at the natural.
That's a lot of Zealots just getting eaten by those Banelings. It's not the best connections there from the Protoss perspective. It's, of course, these Lings still causing havoc in the main base. 6 more probes getting killed off. More Warpins being forced to be going on over there as well. But herO is going to march across the map. He thinks he does have some sort of an opportunity with a good amount of storms, but potentially maybe just baiting out some units here, trying to find the best spot to go. I mean,
they're phrasing it like, oh, you know, he thinks like this is a good time. He's like, no, herO needs to do something. Like herO, if he backs off, he's dead. Like he has to try to end the game with what he has, because the longer this game goes on, the better and better it becomes for Solar. To the point where even at this point, like, you know, you could argue that we're huffing a bit of copium, right? Like Solar's almost maxed. He's almost maxed out. But here he has to try. He has to try with this army. He's got to hope and pray that he can land those storms. It's all or nothing for herO.
He can't even try and hunker down on 3 bases and craft basically a perfect army with the resources that he has left at his disposal. Instead, he thinks that he needs to attack in this moment, and we'll see. The army supply of Solar
nice storms,
massive, but those storms really good at just covering the entire surface area that Solar was trying to set up more concave with.
He's coming from behind.
Sentry absolutely low
Solar.
on HP, but the storms are starting to dissipate. There's maybe only 2 left.
Banelings right on top of absolutely everything. What are you going to do as herO in this position? You can see him smiling as well on the webcam. Knows the situation he's in right now. Excellent setup from Solar. Sure, he took a couple, you know, storms to the face in the initial defense, but that just was wasting those energies basically.
herO throws down a fleet beacon. That's crazy.
And now everything is looking really bad.
Here's army gets swallowed up. Ah, it's time for Sky Toss. Throws down the fleet beacon, throws down the Stargate. Again, at this point, herO, the one chance he has is to turtle up. The one chance herO has, I should say, is that Solar leaves him alone.
So long now. herO is able to nearly remax. You can see the income advantage right there. It's been solidly maybe 1,000 minerals or 1,000 resources in total above herO for maybe 4 or 5 minutes now. And Solar's economy just absolutely pumping. And now it seems like herO is opting to go for the more conservative defensive option. He's throwing down a fleet beacon. He's potentially going to be starting a mothership pretty soon. But I'm not sure Solar is going to want to give him that kind of time.
Oh.
Jeez. Yeah, absolutely not. It doesn't even look like herO has the gas to make a mothership in the first place. He's just still spending
so again, Solar did not get an infestation bit. He does not have a hive. Solar's staying with lair tech because he knows he can kill, right? He's just going for it.
Really
nice storms though.
Solar's getting bungled up here on these corners, taking a lot of damage to these storms. Thankfully, we'll be able to kill off that 4th base, get a cancel on that. Mothership does get started. There's only going to be a few storms in this defense at the moment. I'm not sure if there's a recharge ready or not to get some more out. But there's honestly still a decent amount here overall. You could morph in some of these Archons as well, but yeah, no, Solar I think has just got it totally fine at that point. herO doesn't want to go any further. Yeah, I mean, a pretty nice game overall from Solar. What even happened in the beginning of that game? I actually totally forgot what that interaction was.
GG, well played. As a reminder, Solar, I believe, I could be mistaken, but I believe that Solar's build was a reaction, sorry, the Baliness was a reaction to the Void Ray opener. I could be mistaken, I have to like double check the timings, but Solar went for a standard opener, hatch gas pool, into a 3rd base, into an Evo chamber, then he threw down that Baliness, which did go unscouted, and with that he was able to build up for his Bane bust. herO went Void Ray first. herO, he was hunting down Overlords, who was being annoying, yes, but herO, he missed the scout. He failed to see the all-in, he didn't see the Bane bust, and it did crippling damage. It was, what, 39 probes going down to the Bane bust. It was insane damage, and that was game. Then obviously the game lasted longer from there, but herO, he was limping along like he was barely standing, and he had that one storm push in him, and he fought well with it. Like, he traded very efficiently. He just didn't have the economy to sustain himself, and he couldn't reinforce the army, and he was quite limited in the forces that he had available. GG, well played.
Option did not pay off for him, but really there isn't a winning choice there. You're hoping that Solar makes some kind of mistake.
Yeah, you have to get some crazy mistakes from the opponent. You got to take some insane risks. So herO trying to go for the risk, attacking out, just didn't work out for him. Of course, his army wasn't built for it. But anyways, Celestial Enclave is going to be our next map. Let's get loaded on into that to see if Solar can close this one out with a 3-1, or if herO is going to bring us to a game number 5.
think the better question is, do we end up in a mid game, in a mid macro game? Do we end up with like a 4-base setup versus 4-base setup? Do we? I think we know the answer. It's very low, but we are loading into Celestial Enclave. Now, we said this last time we casted Solar. I'm shocked that this map made it through the vetoes. Welcome to one of the most defensive maps in the map pool. It is very difficult to be the aggressing player and to break a player early on and deny bases and break their defensive setup. It is insanely difficult. We saw Solar attempt to be aggressive on this map against Classic and GSL, and Solar failed. Like Solar, he couldn't. He just could not break through. He could not crack that shell. And with that, it'll just. Sorry, I say Classic. I think it was someone else.
And just try to react to what Solar is doing. The same way that
but it was in GSL, and with that, he did fail to do so. Or I might even be thinking of RSL. To be fair, like it's just been. It all blends together, Pat. It all blends together.
I think the same approach would be advisable here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's kind of
yes, it was Solo versus Classic. Okay, I wasn't certain.
extremely aggressive. Here was able to batter down Shin with some great play.
But again, Solo failed to do so, so we'll see if he does change his approach here. Again, so I spoke about how defensive this map is, but we have a ramp coming into the high ground at the natural base, so we have a very secure natural, and you have a pocket expansion as well, and you have no attack path into those 3 bases except for the natural attack path or the rocks, which means you can situate your army in one location to defend 4 bases, as you can expand right outside of the natural and park your army there, and there's no way for your opponent to run by or counterattack except for that one location, or if they knock down the rocks, which you should have your eyes on regardless. So very, very limited attack paths, very limited harassment options. Because of that, we do often see Nidus all-ins or Drop Lord based all-ins or Mutaplay. You got to be creative if you want to be aggressive on this map, otherwise you can't be aggressive.
Classic now up 2-1 here versus herO. And he's doing it on the back of aggressive plays. I think that is just kind of where the Zerg race is at in this matchup. You have to be the aggressor here as Zerg, because a Protoss player like herO or Classic, if they're able to navigate into a 4 or 5 base situation, they're not necessarily going for an exhaust play. They're not trying to mine out or wait until the entire map is mined out. But the armies that players like this can construct, like herO and Classic can construct, they are world eaters. I mean, you go up to 200 supply, and it's nothing but Archons, Templar, Mothership, Tempest. There is no chaff. And it's very hard for Zerg, even with a full Remax available in the bank, to actually deal with an army like that. So for Solar, I don't think that he should change anything moving forward. Even if he loses this game on the back of aggression, you got to go back to the aggression again in a game number 5, because that is your path to victory.
Oracle coming out first here for herO, not going for that Void Ray.
I always find it funny when one caster like goes on a big like tirade about like a certain aspect of the game or about anything, and the other guy's like, anyway. God damn it. God damn it.
Get them relatively early at just kind of the standard time, but if you saw the Void Ray coming out, you could
Gemini.
with keeping those spores being made for a little bit longer. But
what I will say though is, I mean, what State said is correct, but that's been the case for quite some time. That isn't just the case with EVP; it's the case with TVP as well. Like right now in the current meta, both Terran and Zerg players want to avoid longer and later games. That's why we've been seeing almost purely all-ins in ZVP and TVP. It is a problem, it is an issue, and we're hoping that the upcoming patch will help resolve, will help address this, but we'll see. We'll see. So now, once again, Evo Chamber opener out of Solar should be into +1 melee.
+1 melee style here versus herO. They have to be very careful with an approach like that one, because if herO catches wind that Solar is just playing for the Lingbane style and decides to go for a more conservative game, him throwing down a lot of static defense, getting early Archons, and then adding in the Storm, it can be hard with the Lingbaneling to actually get damage done.
It's in the chat. Longer game. It's greater than 3 minutes, probably. True.
Actually diving past those 3 queens, picking up some drones. That's a good pickoff for him.
Yeah, love it whenever you're able to find those little weaknesses there in the Zerg's defense. Of course, they're trying to cut corners as much as possible, maybe not getting a spore in one of the bases as the queens are just going to be sitting there. So sometimes you can get a nice drive by.
Behind this, for the first time this series, it's going to be a blink-based opener out of herO, which we appreciate. This is much more standard, much more defensive, which makes sense coming into Celestial Enclave.
PvZ in this day and age, and something that herO is very adept at doing. I mean, he honestly kind of invented this style almost, or just really revolutionized.
+1 melee into a safety into a safety roach warren. Interesting. I'm not convinced this is going to invest into roaches, but he is getting it nonetheless.
And it's been something that's been very strong over the years, so we'll be going into that one this time as he just tries to find a couple more drones with the oracles and doing a pretty good job of it.
2 more gases getting taken now by herO, and keep in mind that here on Celestial Enclave, herO can go for the pocket expansion should he want to. Not really expand his.
So State pointing out the gases tells us that herO is going to take up into splash damage, whether it's Colossus or Storm. One of those two is on the horizon.
He is adding in additional gateways, so there is some more aggressive infrastructure, as we might have a drop Overlord getting morphed in here for Solar. It certainly seems like he is setting up for this. But I think if herO wants to try and get damage done with the Blink, he might need at least 1 more Oracle, because a healthy number of +1 links is one of the answers to the style that herO is potentially going for here, and unless you have a lot of energy on these oracles to assist, it can be a problem.
And now we see why there was the roach warren. I was like, I'm not convinced that we're going to be making any roaches, and we're not. It's going to be Spire. So +1 melee into mutas. The reason why you have the roaches is in case herO is going to be hyper aggressive, you have access to roaches to buy time and to buffer.
And the units are already out on the field for herO as well. The timing of this drop is hitting perfectly, and even a forward blink as well, as herO's trying to go aggressive at this point in time. And herO maybe wasn't, he did actually see it on the mini-map. It looked like for a second he wasn't actually aware, but is fully aware that this drop
same time blinking across the map
to warp in back at home and be able to deal with this. Meanwhile, he is blinking across the cavern over on the right-hand side. Will start to attack this base and will be able to just kill it off very quickly. The Stalkers able to DPS that down very quickly.
Yeah, nice play there by herO. Just getting a freebie on the hatchery. Might lose 1 or 2 Stalkers in total, but a worthwhile trade for our Kronos player in Solar. He's going to be double expanding now, taking the top left.
So here he defends against the link drop. He attacks across the map. He kills the pocket expansion. And very nice moves out of herO. And instead of going into more splash damage, which he assumed because of the gases, he's doubling down on a gateway composition. He gets caught. No, he gets caught. Oh my god.
Fortuitous, some fortunate positioning here for herO with all these lings trying to find some surface area on the
catching up 3 Stalkers at the same time. herO keeps pushing, and the scary thing for Solar is that he's spending all of his money on mutas, and that's not going to help too much in the defense here.
I mean, herO,
it's going to be very tight hold.
Any win that this is happening, there's just absolutely no idea. He's got a cannon randomly in his 3rd base, kind of, but he doesn't look like he's super prepared for this at all. I mean,
he doesn't know.
The Adepts are going to try to come on in here. They will actually get the scout on the mutas coming out. That's huge for him to make sure he gets that information. He's being aggressive with the Stalkers as well, so it's killed off one of these.
Okay, backs up. He backs up, he retreats. Phoenix production has begun.
Immediately in the production tab, extra cannons also getting morphed on in. We might have to go into Phoenix range with this fleet beacon finishing up, as well as a second Stargate gets placed down. This is going to be really tough for herO. He's got to be very clinical in this defense.
Some Stalkers get recalled there from the front lines, and unfortunately the Oracles actually
how the Stalkers, they get caught out.
So, the Muta is able to isolate a ton of these Stalkers as well as these Zerglings. I think with 1 more blink, although it is on cooldown right now.
Yeah, heavy losses there for herO.
But at the cost of the Oracles, at the cost of I think at least 1 Phoenix, and that was a very expensive trade for our Kronos player. Solar now focus firing another Phoenix. He's trying to keep that count under control for as long as possible. Momentum growing right now for our Zerg player as Solar takes another base, the central expansion.
Yeah, Ling's moving over to the right-hand side as well, trying to see if they can get anything done on the right side on that 3rd base, but for now we'll just kind of move back as the mutas continue to shark around. Trying to get these Stalkers out of position is the play here for Solar, of course. The Phoenixes will be low in number as he was able to kill off quite a few of those, even going to be going into Corruptors. We saw Shin doing this yesterday to great success against Classic, so the Muta Corruptor style fully here in this match as well, as the mutas continue to pull these Stalkers left and right.
Double Phoenix production here for herO's. Phoenix range is nearing completion. About 15 seconds left on that. And for herO, he's just going to try and hunker down and hold these 4 bases that he's got with the pocket expansion now finishing up. The map control is firmly on the side of Solar, and it's going to be really hard to unseat that moving forward. It's all about the defense here for herO.
Yeah, Blink is over here as well for these Stalkers, and we also have the Phoenix range finished up for those Phoenixes, so that's going to be really key to be able to defend against.
Yeah, so far here he is keeping up, he is somewhat holding on, but again, Soul's about to max. He's about to max out. Some mutas, they do distract here at the pocket expansion. At the same time, Lings, they, actually hero's in position on the right-hand side. No, the Lings, they do slip in, but they slip out. Where are we going? Where are we going,
But the Lings will get on in, trying to kill off that fleet beacon, won't be able to do so. There's plenty of units here to defend, so herO's actually stabilizing pretty okay. I mean, the Phoenix range is online, and there's quite a few numbers.
It's one of those things where Solar, he's close to maxing out, but it doesn't matter. He fails to break any expansion. He's distracting, that is true, but hero's keeping up with the movement, he's keeping up with the aggression, and hero is slowly catching up in supply here. This is where the soup does lie, right? Solar, he's at 180 and he can soon max out. That doesn't matter if he can't make use of the army. Again, hero has the advantage of cannons, battery, Sim City. Hero so far is turtling well.
It's not like Solar can dive and just take the fight to herO. herO's economy has been too big. He's been able to build a very healthy stock.
And this shows what we said at the very beginning of the game. Remember what we said at the very beginning here at Celestial Enclave. It is very easy to turtle up on 4 bases. And you can see, herO, these are the 4 bases that we spoke about. You have the main, the natural, the pocket, and the base on the right-hand side. Banelings do waddle in, but here he does pull away in time.
Able to block that for the most part, only losing. Okay, never mind. 9 probes is actually
9
a lot.
probes. 10. Oh no, he gets in.
Unfortunately, now the mutants somehow bypass the Phoenixes.
He gets into the bucket. That shouldn't have happened. Hero making mistakes.
The defense here needs to be strong from Solar as well, as the Blink Stalkers find their way across the map. Banelings being used defensively as the Hydras also spawn out at the perfect time. All the mutants and corruptors getting traded out, and the Phoenixes are there to defend. They could come to the front lines eventually as well, as they're also pretty decent against.
It's getting messy. It's getting very, very messy. Solar, he just threw away all of his Banelings and all of his mutas. He's down to Ling Hydra.
Hydra count is quite low right now, but hero's got to be careful with these blinks. It's tough to get on top of this army, especially with
Hero's moving and he can lift.
Already done. Or would love to take out
The
this
boys are being
expansion.
pulled. Solar's getting desperate.
Solar now hero moving forward. The Phoenixes, will he also blink forward to try and give them cover? No, it seems like instead the Phoenix is going to get slowly picked off here by the Hydras on the flank. It's a very close fight. I think that Solar with the drone pull should be able to stabilize, but there's more.
Yes, Solar with reinforcements, he might have enough, but he's running out of Hydras.
A couple of corruptors
he's running out
as well, but the Phoenix is still
here.
Able to stay
he's
alive.
moving in. He
blinks.
blinks.
Just that much extra DPS.
Oh my god!
Lifting up some of these Hydras as well. This is looking like it's starting to snowball right now for herO. The upgrades really helping as well.
Here he barely has enough. He breaks on through the defensive line. 17 drones go down, and herO, he's done it. He's broken Solar.
This is really good for herO right now after losing so many probes. Just immediately sending it across the map and going for the big all-in play seems to be the correct choice.
I mean, this is a running theme in PBZ. If you're able to deal with the Muta Corruptor flock as well as herO did, usually the counterpunch is close to fatal, if not fatal. And herO, he is beginning to transition.
And now you might be thinking like, oh, Solar held. Solar, he's in a rough position. Solar's down in workers, down in economy, down in supply. hero's not able to build up. Now, thankfully, the one saving grace actually here is that herO has no Temple Archives. Without the Temple Archives, there's no Storm, there's no Archon. So herO, he actually backs off and he has to wait at home until he gets Storm. So Solar, he has time to rebuild and time to breathe.
Parked his army by that 4th base. And I think for herO, once he's able to add in, these actually going to run into the Banelings.
Very nice connections.
Well, I mean, that's one way to deal with them, I suppose.
That was an expensive way to deal with them, so a bit unfortunate, but maybe he won't be too sad. Of course, his economy is still intact, so that's still good, of course. And that's a lot of gas as well on those Banelings. So Solar,
as we're alluding to, I mean, those were better connections for Solar. That was a better trade for the Zerg player. But herO, as long as he can secure these 4 bases and maintain these 4 bases, herO, he's just snowballing out of control. Solar's all in. Solar has to commit. That's why if you look at the production tab, Solar's not droning, intentionally so. He knows that Solar knows that he cannot macro out of this. He cannot macro.
Yeah, especially rallying Hydras across the map. If Phoenix are able to isolate just 1 or 2 of them, they get one shot by Phoenix in these numbers. So herO trying to get the damage done that he can. And Solar has been basically forced into what is an all-in position. He hasn't made any more drones.
Oh, he said it!
Since that last attack
for the
at
first time
base.
tonight.
It's just been Hydralisks and Zerglings
He said
here
it.
for herO. And if Solar wants to make a timing attack work here,
Say it isn't wrong. Solar is all in.
I think before the mothership is done, because Storm is already finished. That makes things.
So you said herO wears glasses now. herO's been wearing glasses for a couple of years. It's been a couple of years. Very often herO, he takes off the glasses for like photo shoots and stuff like that, but he's been wearing glasses for quite some time.
Gearing up for Solar to throw an attack at herO, and herO is getting active on the map. He is looking.
If you remember, I believe herO started wearing glasses during the maybe in the final year of the Pro League era. I want to say.
Going in with the Storms now on the right-hand side, we'll be able to get a couple good connections. Even going onto the drone lines, I mean, Solar just cannot engage into this location. It's such a small choke point. The Storms have been so good so far.
Excellent control there by herO, engaging, dropping down Storms, forcing Solar
to
chase into them, and then blinking back.
But again, he takes them off for like photo shoots and things of that nature.
To the orange HP as Solar's gonna be going for one more engagement, it looked like. But I mean, the army of Solar is now so meager, it's really hard to kind of find the right angle. It feels like herO is just slowly whittling him down.
Yeah, this is so difficult. You can see the posturing from here as well, knowing this position, just leading with those two Templar, just baiting Solar to try and...
It's like Classic, right? Like Classic's also been wearing glasses for a good amount of years, but he takes them off for like photo shoots and things of that nature as well.
That was pretty sick, but there's still so much more where that came from, and herO has just got such a good army supply. His economy is totally untouched. The Mothership's going to be joining very soon as well. He's got Tempest coming out. This extra base is coming online. This game is all herO.
All right, Solar gonna be trying to isolate this army here on the flank side, but Storms, they do so much damage to these Hydras and Lings.
And once again, the only chance Solar has here is if herO overextends. So if he pushes on creep too deeply and too far and then gets surrounded, then maybe Solar can win a fight. But herO, as long as he's locked in and he's focusing on his army control, he should be fine. Should be fine.
Time Warp dropping down is going to zone away the Hydras. This hatchery absolutely getting taken out. And I do not see a way for Solar to clean up this army.
Yeah, this is looking really bad for Solar at this point. The Overseer's coming, but just a little bit too late as the surprise of the Mothership cloaking has already done its damage, basically, forcing that base to get killed off. This one is also pretty much going to fall soon after, assuming that herO just wants to end this one, as the rest of his army does join on up. Starts to lift up some more of those Hydras. And herO will be bringing us to a game number 5.
What a fun series between these two. We've had some really creative builds. We've had some back and forth games.
GG, well played. Whew, with that, here he does have the series suited to here. Once again, I said it during the GSL cast. I'm saying it here during the RSL co-stream. I still don't fully understand why Solar he lets Celestial Enclave through the veto process. Like, we have seen that Solar let it through the vetoes and either all in or go mutas time and time again, and we've seen it fail time and time again as well. It's just so difficult. It's so difficult to really maintain that momentum, because to be fair, to give Solar credit, the mutas got scouted, that is true, but he still killed a bunch of probes. Remember, like, he had Ling Bane in the natural, in the main base, in the third, like the mutas were hitting the pocket expansion as well. Like, Solar, he was doing damage, but despite that, it didn't really matter because this map favors defensive play and herO stabilized, right? Despite losing all those workers, he still stabilized, he still turtled up, and he still was able to build up a death ball of an army and then break out across the map. Solar, despite the damage he was dealing, he was not able to really keep herO contained, right? He couldn't keep him contained, he couldn't break that defensive position either, and eventually herO snowballed out of control. And again, on another map, this can maybe work even better for Solar, but specifically on Celestial, it's just easier to start to slow the game down, to start to get your momentum back, of course, to stabilize, to defend, and to build up your army. And herO he just snowballed out of control. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into the ace match, and we're going to be loading into Ruby Rock, a very small map of the map pool. Small map of the map pool, short rush distance by ground. Once again, aggression is favored here on Ruby Rock.
Everything is in your favor because Solar's gone for this army, which is highly mobile, but is not very capable of taking a head-on engagement. And you can push across the map as Protoss. You can take down a base. You can take some favorable trades with the ground army of Zerg. That is what herO did, and he was able to leverage it into a win. But now we're going to go to Ruby Rock for set number 5. One of these players will be advancing into the upper bracket final. The other will fall to the lower bracket.
All right, we got herO on the top left-hand side and Solar over on the bottom right-hand side. I think one of the other very important things about that game as well is just how quick herO was able to transition into the Phoenix range, because he was already getting that fleet beacon before he even got the confirmation of the mutas coming out. He was just going for the very fast fleet beacon for the fast mothership, which is something that he does like to do in this matchup to defend against the lair all-ins, just try to get that really fast mothership for the cloak and other utility. So he was already going for that, able to just immediately start up the Phoenix range when it finished as the mutas were scouted. So that definitely helped to defend against that much better as well, compared
kind of like getting into fast Phoenix range. Did it help? It did help, but I would say that what was better there was the positional play of herO. Having, if you recall, we were seeing the defense of herO, where we saw like Lings, mutas in, mutas moving in as well, and herO he was able to keep up, right? He was able to keep units in position, able to react in time, able to defend, and able to secure his 4 bases. Even without the extra range on the Phoenix, like, he would have still been able to have the same success. Obviously, the extra range did help when it came to like hunting or chasing mutas, or even getting an extra shot off as well. True, did help, but again, I was more so impressed by his positional play and his crisis management, despite losing so many workers initially.
GSL's in the past where he's gone into a 3-base mothership, but usually in modern PvZ, It's the fourth base. You know, you get that started. Now you can go for the Fleet Beacon. Now you can go for the Mothership. You can start trickling out some Tempest. So really, the stars kind of aligned there for a herO that was gearing up for a long macro game versus Solar. But Ruby Rock, it's a different map. If you want to take a third and a fourth base, that's about as easy as it gets in terms of expansions. Taking a fifth expansion is very hard here as Protoss, but even taking a fourth base, there is no safe option, whether you're expanding linearly down the
Yeah, I was about to push back against what State is saying about how the third and fourth are more open and exposed on this map. And they are.
Traverse that he can use to get good surrounds on you, that he can use to try and break away your position. Now, let's see how herO plays this.
Yeah, definitely an aggressive map overall compared to some of the other ones, so
True.
We'll see how aggressive either player wants to be, as the Stargate will be coming down yet again from herO, as again it's
my assumption here, because this map favors aggression, is that herO is going to be aggressive himself. We could see Glaive Adepts, we could see early Blink, we could see early Charge instead, so we'll see how both players do open up and who will be the aggressor. One, the other, or both.
Either of them will do, and then you go into some sort of Twilight tech after that, so I would be honestly blown away if herO decided to do anything else this series, so we'll just continue with that for now as the probe tries to get the information, try to deny this third base for as long as possible, maybe tag it up with the Adept, but not quite able to deny it that long, as the Adept will now finally come on over and start to harass these Lings just a little bit.
Yeah, herO happy to trade out a little bit of whole HP on the Adept for some Zergling kills. He's able to pick off one of them. And yeah, it's a good point that you make about the Stargate being the first option here. Pretty much every single PvZ. It's just a matter of if you want to take a third base as Protoss, there are so many early aggressive builds that Zerg can go for if you don't have oracles. But you know, hashtag Zergs famously, they don't have a lot of units that can shoot up. So you get an oracle, you get a couple of void rays, something in the air, and you have sustained damage that can actually secure an expansion. By the way, you're actually shading both of these Adepts into the main base. I don't know if he's going to be able to find that many drones with this, but he is trading pretty favorably with these Lings.
Ooh,
yeah,
bit of mission control.
Of course, going to force a couple more Lings to be made in general, and also
yeah, a bit of mission control there out of Solar. Likewise, extra Lings did go down, so not a bad trade for herO. Even denying mining. Oh my god! There's four.
The Oracle even finding some extra damage as well, but unfortunate on that miss micro towards the end of that.
Two drone kills and lost mining.
But still, 2 drones and a couple of Lings like that early on without losing. I think he only lost 1 Adept, right? It's honestly not bad. It's a good trade.
Yeah, only 1 Adept falling so far. 2 drones and 4 Zerglings in total.
I don't want them to understate just how much damage that was, just because there was 0 mining at the natural for quite some time. Like that was brutal.
Third base. We'll see where herO's going to go with this game.
So early game is in favor of herO so far.
Out of the Stargate, out of the third base, are we going to be seeing +1 charge zealots? Will we have Blink come through? Will it be fast Templar again? There are a couple of different ways that you can play this, and I love.
So we have a relatively earlier Twilight Council and Forge. I'm leaning towards Charge here, but it could be Blink. We'll see.
Any of these matches versus Solar so far.
Yeah, this is looking really good. Will it be able to deny a creep tumor?
He gets in. 3 more drones. 4. Oh, good.
Are coming from in the early game. Gets an extra drone here and there as well. Shades right on out. So yeah, herO being very active with these early units.
Lair first out of Solar, not Eva Chamber this time. It looks like Solar's going to commit harder into Roaches.
Early game start here from herO. He's going to be feeling very comfortable.
Yeah, and I wonder how much this early damage is going to be changing the game plan here from herO. Because I'm sure that herO is loading into Ruby Rock with kind of an idea of where he wants to take the game. But this has been about as fortunate as an early game could possibly get here for Protoss. He's picked off a lot of drones in total with the Oracles, with the Adepts early on. He's taken out a lot of Lings. I mean, we're at 5 minutes, 30 seconds. Protoss is now secured at third base, and the worker counts are 53 to 50, and herO's going to catch even more drones. I mean, the damage just keeps adding up. He might even be able to get 1 or 2 more here. He wants to trade out one of these Oracles. You know, it's always a bad feeling losing an Oracle, but honestly, the drone damage, yeah, just go for it, because the drone damage has already been so high that every subsequent drone loss, it feels like it's even more painful for Solar than the first couple. I mean, 12 drones have fallen.
Insane.
This is a great trade.
And 10 Lings. Yeah, that's crazy.
So I wonder if herO now, you get this much
That's crazy. It is crazy.
You might as well, in my opinion, just really start to ramp up the
behind this herO, he went for Blink, not Charge, which is going to be better against Roaches. As we mentioned before, it was Roach Warren first, Lair first, not Eva Chamber, so Roach heavy style. And herO, he's so far like in control.
I mean, the Adepts are once more in the third.
He gets in.
Yeah, he's just going balls to the wall at this point with this harass, and it's doing so well overall.
15 drone
Every single
kills.
time you kill these early drones, it's forcing the Zerg to remake them, so it's taking them longer to get to the point where they want to then stop to then make extra units. But they're being forced to make all the units early, and so their economy doesn't actually get to flourish at the right time. So then you're able to snowball this as the Protoss to an eventual victory if everything goes the way that it should. So now with Blink about to finish, +1 also.
I mean, it's all been going here his way, and he's not stopping with the momentum. He's pushing already.
Oracle's still trying to find as much as they can as the stasis will be able to get half a mineral line in the main as well. This is just looking so good every single time for herO.
It feels like the game is spiraling out of control right now for Solar. I mean, there's only 2 Oracles on the map, and one of them has been harassing the main base with stasis wards, so it's really only one Oracle assisting the Stalkers here for herO, and you might think that might be good for Solar because suddenly the Lings can get a surround, but it's a roach-based composition. You can't actually get the meaningful surround on this Stalker
the
ball.
fleet beacon already?
And herO is just really
he's clowning. Going for the stasis. Ooh, he's denied.
With all of these Stalker warp-ins, I mean, we do have a fleet beacon transition behind this, but so much of the game plan here for herO is just chipping away.
It's such a fast beacon and a fast mothership. It's crazy.
He knows that he has Solar in really dire straits.
Yeah, this is this trademark herO play of going for this super fast fleet beacon.
Solar's all in. If you look at Solar, he's so far behind. So Solar, he has to go for the all in. Solar's going for Pneumatics Carapace, Overlord Speed. He's going for a Job Lord based all in with the German Taxi. Now, herO, is he being too greedy? That fleet beacon is greedy, by the way. herO going for a mothership at this early on is greedy, and he might get punished for it here because Solar is not joining.
And will be able to kill off this base on the right-hand side and then blink on out, but the army from Solar still is very large.
Like, hero's doing so much damage. It's good, don't get me wrong, but like, he's got to recognize what he's forcing out of Solar.
Yeah, but again, it's a roach-based army, and so it doesn't have the mobility to actually chase down this Stalker ball. That's why herO can blink forward, snipe a hatchery, lose a couple of Stalkers on the retreat, but mostly get away unscathed. And with a mothership coming in right now as well, I know that Solar is adding Hydras into this composition, but doing that on the back of a 3-base economy against a herO who will soon be on
so
4
Solar,
bases.
he did throw down his Hydrogen a couple of moments ago here. This tells us that and I did see him drone actually, so he wants to try to transition out of this.
Overeager with these Stalkers if he wants to get back in this game.
The initial plan was for Job Lords, but it looks like he's like pivoting away from
Killing
that.
off all those creep tumors earlier on in the game with the Oracles is really helping this as well, and you're continuing to do that. You just saw it again. You did another revelation to kill another one. You're able to get so much leverage on the map if you can deny the creep. He's just blinking all over the place, rotating left and right, making it so difficult for Solar to actually get in the right position, to know where these attacks are even coming from. The creep, a lot of times, is what allows the Zerg to be able to respond so well to a lot of the Protoss attacks, but he's just not really able to do that. He's losing bases on the left, he's losing bases on the right earlier as well. And now
Second
we've got the
Stargate.
Tempest fully coming on, and the Mothership's about to finish up
So
+3.
basically what's happening this game is that herO, he's had a phenomenal early and mid game where Solar's basically dead in the water, but instead of herO going into Colossus or Storm as a follow-up, he's being hyper greedy and hyper risky by rushing into Tempest and Fleet Beak, Tempest and a Mothership with a Fleet Beak into Sky Toss. It means that he has a bit of a weaker follow-up because there's no splash damage immediately, but he is kind of like rushing and skipping a bunch of steps all the way to the late game. It is a really risky thing to do. It does mean that Solar has a chance to maybe overwhelm because there are no storms, so we'll see. I mean, Solar's still behind. It's still a rough game. Okay, he just blinks in.
On top of the Hydras and Roaches.
He's crazy.
There were enough Zealots there on the front line that herO felt confident to get in range, especially with the safety of the Mothership. There is no detection for Solar again.
Wow, just really not expecting these fast motherships as
Oh my
Solar.
god.
The Overseers yet again just a few seconds too late, so the extra burst damage from that fast cloak is able to pay off, kills off a base again, and then is able to blink away to safety. The drop in the main base wasn't able to do all that much, but actually it looks like the Hydras will get on top of that Mothership and barely kill it off at the last second, so that's still a nice trade there.
Yeah, once again, herO rushing into Tempest like this is killing him. He could have already had all these High Templar and Storm and Archons right now. He chose not to. So hero's making this harder on himself.
I mean, this is the moment for Solar to get something done. We don't have any splash damage here for herO. He cannot warp in Templar and recharge them for Storm. There's no Storm even a research. No Templar Archives even built for herO because he was trying to play this game where he trades constantly with the Zerg, where he capitalizes on the Zerg's really poor economy early on. And Mapu did correct me, we do have a Templar Archives. I'm not sure if we have Storm out just yet.
No, Storm
it
is
really
not
is just a basic gateway army, and Solar doing a great job capitalizing on herO, blinking forward like that. Solar right now with a Hydra Ball. This is the army that has more DPS. It is Solar's now. herO's the one with mobility, but can he actually utilize that to keep Solar on his side of the map?
For now, it looks like Solar is respecting that and will just be staying between these two bases.
So basically, this game, herO, he was dominating early on and winning the game, and now he's killing himself. Like, again, rushing into double Stargate Tempest production as quickly as he did, like it's hurting herO more than helping, so far at least. Obviously, the end game, if he maxes out, like that should be a superior composition. That is true, but we could have seen herO end the game already by now if he had gone for earlier splash damage. So herO's not making it easy for himself.
And the drones will not be able to stay alive. They're going to be forced to retreat, or they're going to get killed off as Solar puts them back for just a moment there. So again, the economy for Solar is just in the dumps.
Yeah, but this is a tricky position right now for herO. He's worked himself into
a coming in first round.
Lincoln recall to get out of here, and I don't know if the Tempest can actually
catch the Tempest?
Solar collapsing on this position. There's the recall, but it's only about half of the Protoss army.
Oof.
Oh, Solar, he is starting to turn this game around. It began with the first attack with herO at the third base. Able to win a trade as herO blinked forward aggressively, and now able to take out a lot more of the Protoss army. Is it going to be enough, though? herO, he's going for another counterattack. Coming in with a lot of charge zealots, trying to get some more damage done. The Templar Archives fell. I'm not even sure if Storm finished recalling, but now we have a Warp Prism main base. There's a skirmish in the center of the map. There is action everywhere.
Still no Storm.
No Storm.
Yeah, this is getting really scrappy right now for both players. They're trying to find any
I'll be honest,
sort of
I don't think herO knows that he doesn't have Storm. He has 5 High Templar, full of energy, and there's no Storm.
On the bottom left and sending things to that base on the bottom side. Able to keep Solar on his side of the map for now. Even tried to keep some of these Tempests alive, and we'll be able to do that as well with some reinforcing playing Stalker. So nice for herO to be able to keep some of these units alive, but now the big army from Solar has found some room to move to the bottom left.
Yeah, some more Archons.
No that was denied initially, and that's going to make this defense much more difficult.
Oh man, a Solar, he's turning this game around, Gemini. I can't believe it. He's going to take down this base in the bottom left. I don't know if herO thought this storm was done, but it wasn't. Researching at the Templar Archives. There's no splash damage still for herO. Solar pushing in to the third base after taking out the fourth. herO relying right now on Stalkers and Immortals to defend, but that is not good against the Hydraless composition of Solar.
Yeah, this is actually crazy that Solar's been able to find a way back in this game, killing 25 probes and even taking a favorable trade right now, killing Templar Archives yet again. So still none being warped in at this point. The unit's just getting killed.
Solar, he's running out of steam a little bit here, but he does have enough. Yeah, he does have enough. He can keep pushing. He's going to get the Immortal as well. And once again, like, hero's killing himself. Like, herO chose to rush into Tempest like this. Like, herO's going to hold on here, but again, it's not clean.
Trying to kill off some of these extra units, and will eventually be able to kill some of these, but the Tempest dying in the air as well. I mean, herO's now down to 80 supply.
herO suffered so many losses. I'm not sure that his economy can really support a transition into splash damage. Again, Storm is not researched. We have 8 sentries warping in for herO because really there's no better way to spend the money. There's no minerals. Even the third base is halfway mined out for herO. He desperately needs a 4th expansion. Meanwhile, Solar on his side of the map, he's re-expanding to the triangle base. He's taken or resaturated his top right expansion as well. I think Solar might be turning this one around, but herO, he's got 1 or 2.
Like Solar, he was able to hang in there, and Solar was in one of those positions where you're hoping for your opponent to make mistakes, and that's what happened. Nice force fields without Ravagers, like the force fields, they can excel, but there's still no 4th expansion.
Liberty coming out right now at minute 15 in this PVZ in 2026. I have not seen this in quite a hot minute, but we're going to see how much this can do as herO's. Of course, this is basically going to be one of his last hurrahs. He's barely mining off of these 3 bases. A couple Lings will also try to find their way in here to disrupt that economy even further, and now herO continuing this march over
herO's
on the
all in. This one herO's completely all in. With some well-placed force fields, he can slice the army up.
These force fields when they get placed, but there's not going to be that many biles, and there's still going to be a lot of force fields, so there's still
some force fields. Zones back the army, okay.
What year is this? Look at this fight taking place. So many force fields drop down. Unfortunately,
the sentries, no, they're going down.
On those sentries.
Oof.
They do get traded out with a lot of Hydras, though. Now the drone's getting pulled. herO's army cannot dispatch of drones very quickly. It's very burst damage. Focus with the Stalkers and the Immortals. So herO backing off for now. Going to be taking 1 minute before going in again.
He's not got that much economy as well, so of course you can't really warp in too
Once
much.
again, that's for
He's
sure.
even
The
getting
boy
pulled across the map just to try and clinch
The
this.
boys,
Basically, here
Pappy.
realizing that he's got
Get
to
him
go
in
fully
there.
all in this position. More sentries and stalkers getting warped
The
in just to try and make
boys.
this as good as possible, using the micro potential and the utility.
God, the
of
Immortals are
these
solo
units
as well.
to
He
try
wants
and bring
one.
this home for
He
Hero.
wants
Game number
Immortal.
5 is the
Does
pros
kite back.
now have brought their way
Probes are
into the
here.
front. The drones also being moved from Solar. Every last unit is being used in this final fight.
All right, herO has to utilize the survivability of the Blink Stalkers if he wants to win the trade here. You got to
Stalker's
dodge the
down.
biles, blink all of these Stalkers back, trying to deal with the pressure coming out from Solar. I mean, herO keeps attacking in. The sentries, the force field is able to isolate more
my
Hydralisks here. The drones,
Is he
once we're
doing
getting
it?
pulled.
Hero!
So many of hero's Stalkers are deep in the red. The DPS of
Hero
Solar's
made this game
Hydralisks,
so
they're trying to
hard
get
for
away with the
himself, and
Immortals.
he's
They're
doing it just barely.
basically no
Oh,
army
the
value
wild.
left
Oh my god,
for
dude.
Solar.
The barriers on the Immortals trigger again, so they stay alive in the last second. He's able to kill the base. The micro ability of these units is so strong. Both players now down to 40 workers apiece, and the upgrades really singing true right now for herO. +3 attack, +1 shield, only +2 attack for Solar. This is getting so scrappy, and to the point where now herO has an opportunity to again bring this back into his
Hero
favor.
does pull
This
away,
game
he
has
does
been
back
from
up, he
a
does
nice
give
edge
Solar a
the last,
little bit of time to
10
breathe.
minutes, I feel like this has just been absolutely a ridiculous game, and I really don't know who's even going to win at this point.
Oh, it's been an absolutely crazy game number 5. As we take inventory of the minerals here, very few resources left. And all the expansions of herO, the main, there's only 135 minerals left in one lone patch, so herO instead focusing on distance mining from this expansion. And even throwing down a Nexus at this point is kind of a risky maneuver here for herO. I mean, 400 minerals is a lot,
mothership.
and I think this is brilliant.
That's sick.
Motherships are so good in these kind of scrappy situations
Jesus.
right now, as well as a Warp Prism.
Yeah,
Does
massive
get sniped.
overextension.
These four Stalkers
Hero made a
trying to
mistake.
Find any sort of value. Every unit is crucial in a moment like this. When a
No,
Stalker
Stalker's
falling like
down.
that is going to have repercussions later in this game. But herO, even though he lost the Warp Prism, lost the Stalker, he was able to pull Solar down to the south side, and that means that herO can snipe the hatchery in progress.
Yeah, that's a very nice pick-off there for herO, making the best of what this situation has lended to him. And, of course, that mothership is going to be key.
Here we
if
have
it does
money.
get
Where's the
out, and
Nexus?
It looks like it probably will. Solar's not trying to force the issue at this point. He's just trying to recover right now. He's trying to get into a situation where he can just get enough units out. He thinks that he's got herO down into a situation where he should eventually...
Solar's committing into the fourth location where there is no fourth.
Hero's sitting here just on this 3, and it's going to be really outmined very soon here.
There's no Overseer on the map right now for
my
Solar.
God.
I don't think that he's going to be
You're
expecting
getting
the
caught?
Mothership to come in.
No, of course not.
Here he has to get the hell out of here.
Oh, you got to be careful with these Hydras. If they get isolated by the Stalkers, it could be really deadly
God.
here for
Nice
Solar.
force
Already
fields.
a lot of them getting chipped off. He sees the Mothership. This should give
Stalkers, they
Solar time
barely
to
try to
get a
get
couple of
away.
Overseers on the map, but was he really watching? There's no Overseer started just yet. I think he was
God.
focused on microing the army to try and catch the Stalkers on the top side. Oh, this cloak could be huge here for herO. Mothership slightly lagging behind the army right now.
Where's the
Solar with
cloak?
no
There it
detection.
is.
He's
Oh,
attacking
he catches
again.
it.
And the
The
time warp as
slicer.
well. Oh my god, what a swing right now for herO. He's actually making this happen. The Mothership was not scouted, was not seen. There was nothing here
The
for Solar. No
boys.
Overseers. The probes getting pulled yet again. herO is finding a way back into this game number 5.
Oh, the Mothership timing, so clutch here for herO. He was able to pick off so many units with those force fields because the Overseers.
The
were
boys
not
are
present
too
on the
good,
map.
Pappy.
Now
They're
you're pushing
too
for the win.
good.
All the probes are getting
Ah.
pulled. The drones are getting pulled. It's going to be one last stand. herO just waiting for the right moment. Cloak, it's about 3/4 done. Time Warp also nearly available. There's no rush for either side, but herO says, screw it, let's go in right now. Guardian Shield is going to pop. Mothership not able to
Yeah,
cast
diving on the
just yet, but I think
Hydras.
herO might just have enough.
Ravager's
muscle on
going
the
down.
ground.
Base
He
will
can
zone
push
away.
through. Solar standing strong. There's the Cloak. We have a detection right there where the Overseer gets sniped. The Stalkers blink forward. They
Zero
snipe the Overseer.
detection.
Solar can see nothing.
This is going crazy for herO right now. I mean, the Mothership is providing so much utility. It's providing so much staying power for this army when really everything was lost for herO. He's found a way back in this game. Solar trying to get anything reinforcing. He's got just little couple units just out of nowhere, just from the right-hand side, not actually doing anything. Another snipe on that Overseer. Solar is down to 37 supply, and herO is still managing to get a few more units out. This is looking hopeless right now for Solar, I feel like.
Oh, the mothership still standing strong. The starter count is so low. herO, he's going to blink back. He's going to pivot down towards the 6 o'clock base. That is the next target. He's already
the sentries are coming in once again. There's only 2 Ravagers.
Take out this hatchery. That will be the final
force
nail
field's
in the
back.
coffin here for Solar and herO.
He locks it
He
in.
smells blood in the water. He's charging forward.
GG.
GG and a fist pump.
Oh
my
my
herO.
God.
He's going to take this series 3-2 and move on to the upper bracket finals. And that was one of the best PVZs that we've had all year.
Dude, I love it when force fields find a way to come back in this matchup. They've been kind of
GG, well played. herO, he won this game like 10 minutes ago, and herO did everything he could to lose that game. That was insane. Again, we were being very critical of herO's decision to go into the Fleet Beacon and to go into the Mothership when he did, and go into Tempest when he did, and it straight up almost killed him. Like, it gave Solar a big way in as he was able to catch the army time and time again. Splash damage never factored in because herO was spending all his money on the Fleet Beacon and on the second Stargate and on the Tempest and on the Mothership. Eventually, herO tried to work up into Storm. But I don't know if you noticed, we didn't point it out ourselves, but the Temple Archives was at the 4th location. He kept throwing it down at the 4th, and because the 4th was the base that was most exposed, it kept going down. Like, the Temple Archives went down twice throughout the course of that game. That's why Storm never did complete, and the 4th base, of course, going down as well. So it was a very, very shaky mid to late game there for herO, as he did make it hard for himself. Solar, he fought back, of course. He was able to recover after a disastrous early game. Despite that, though, herO still does clutch it out. As they were mentioning, I do appreciate as well herO seeing the way in, seeing the light, which was the sentries, right? Because of the low eco and because of the lack of Ravagers, sentries and force fields were the MVPs of those past like 5 minutes. Like, force fields, they were so clutch and so on point due to lack of Ravagers and lack of biles and lack of way to deal with them, and Solar, who's being sliced up like crazy. GG. GG. I say the force fields were the MVPs. The boys were the MVPs. herO, how often did he pull the probes? Like 2-3 times? Okay, GG. GG, well played. With that, herO does advance on. Shout out to Solar for making a series out of it, of course, for having a clutch back and forth between himself and herO. And with that, we are now getting ready for our final series of the broadcast. It is going to be Clem versus Lambo. Clem versus Lambo in a best of 5.
I feel excited for a ZBZ, but let me tell you, Gemini, I'm excited about that ZBZ.
So true, State, so true. Anyways, go ahead and check us out on YouTube, all you guys. It's been great to get this YouTube going, but we still need some more help. There's also this new hype feature
Also, I agree.
that's available on the mobile app.
I agree, Icetown. Protoss so OP, they can win even without the best full storm. Don't be a clown, Pappy, don't be a clown. Bearing in mind that Solar he had a worse early and mid game. Like Solar, he was dead in the water from the beginning. Solar's ability to recover in that game was very impressive. But again, why was Solar so far behind? Solar, he failed to defend against the Adept harass, the Oracle harass, the Stalker aggression, the Stalker timing as well. Like Solar, he was very rough around the edges in the beginning, which is why herO was as greedy as he was in the aftermath. Arguably too greedy, but again, it was Solar struggling quite hard early on. Like, that was a crazy first 10 minutes of the game. But GG, well played. With that, we're going to be cutting to a short break. We'll see you guys soon after the break. See you soon.
One sentry drone.
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew, we just wrapped up with our first series here. Welcome back to the RSL Revival StarCraft League Season 5 Playoffs Day 4 co-stream. We just wrapped up with herO versus Solar. herO does advance on to the upper bracket final. Solar, he's knocked down to the lower brackets. And now we have one best of 5 remaining here to determine who will advance on to face off against herO in that upper bracket. It's going to be a best of 5 between Lambo and Clem, a ZVT. An interesting European ZVT at that. Lambo is a rare sight nowadays. I mean, I say nowadays, period. Lambo doesn't really play in many online tournaments. So great to see Lambo competing in the RSL. He's made it very far so far. He took down Bunny in the previous round, but now he's up against the best Terran player in the world. Oh boy, here we go. We have our vetoes. Game 1 is going to be on 10,000 feet, followed by Missing You Today, Necropolis, Old Republic, and Rorschach. Now, I will say that typically Clem is favored, and he is. Like, Clem, he is favored to win the entire tournament even, or get top 2. Like, he's the best Terran in the world. But Lambo, when it comes to preparation-style tournaments, this is where Lambo can thrive. Let's go. Let's jump in.
Against herO, let's find out.
As spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the French Terran player. We have the blue Terran. For Team Liquid, it is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, going for the proxy hatchery, the German Zerg player. For Shopify, it is Lambo. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we do open up with the proxy hatchery. Bearing in mind that I believe this should just be a way to delay the economy, to delay the opener. This is very common amongst Korean Zerg players, and great to see Lambo incorporated as well.
In all these matchups, I feel like it's been really cool to see.
Shin advanced from a GSL group, and I asked him to kind of explain the logic behind a lot of these proxy hatches to me, because I know there's an opportunity cost for the Terran, there's no really good option. They either have to pull SCVs and lose mining time to take down the hatchery, or they have to churn out some units from the barracks and have a delayed expansion. It feels like it's a math problem that's worded just right to mess with my brain, because it's also very it's also very expensive here for Lambo, right? I mean, this is a very early drone moving out on the map.
So when it comes to the style and the build itself, it will delay the economy for Clem. Likewise, depending on Clem's response, it'll be better or worse. Like if Clem pulls the boys, for example, that would be better for Lambo. Lambo wants Clem to be mining even less than he is, but Clem, he does go for a later scout, so he will not pull the boys. He sets up on the high ground with the CC, and so far Clem is going for a very nice, a very clean response here. Meanwhile, Lambo, it's going to be up to him to delay the economy for as long as possible. Queen is on the way. The goal for the Queen is to spread creep. As Lambo did go for the pull behind, this is going for the spine rush. He commits.
And the spine crawler is also being made outside of vision of that bunker.
True.
Will the Reaper actually go down deep enough to actually see this? No, the Lings will actually delay that for now. So
okay, doesn't see.
Spine crawler's still a mystery to Clem.
Yeah, Clem likely going to find it.
Okay,
now sees the spines. Clem realizing the severity of the situation. This is not a macro hatch block with a transition coming out from Lambo. This is a committed timing attack as Lings are streaming across the map already. A ton of them are here on the front lines.
I can't do it. I can't take him seriously. It's like Clem, he realizes this is not a macro variation. It's a timing attack. It's an all-in, Pappy. True. Sorry, it's not an all-in. It's a timing attack in RSL.
Yeah, unfortunately, some of those Lings were actually attacking the bunker, so unable to go all in.
He's
with everything,
here.
But now
It's
we'll try
time.
to get right on top of this bunker on the high ground. There is one on the left-hand side, so we'll be able to retreat to that if Clem needs to. But for now, he is still controlling this high ground pretty decently. But the spine crawlers are going to be the thing that's going to make it very difficult over time to be able to keep this position.
Yeah, so far the spine crawler within range of the depot. The first depot is going to go down. You could definitely argue that the second spine crawler could be a little bit closer forward to get within range of the other depot as well. Gets into the bunker. The bunker is going to be denied. We have a backup bunker. The repairs keep the bunker alive. Oh my god.
To keep this alive with the repair. Honestly, it's been an ironclad defense
so
far by Clem. Lambo's
Clem, solid defense.
Zerglings, but
2 bunkers.
He's hardly even replacing the ones that he's losing on the front lines.
Yeah, we spoke about it. This second spine crawler finally pushes forward, but it was so late. It was just wasting DPS for so long.
Right on up, even though there wasn't really too much in it. Just keeping these things alive, like you said, is going to be very difficult for Lambo to actually bust on through. A couple of transfuses being used to keep these spines alive as well. The Lings will actually deny those SCVs the surface area, so we'll be able to kill one of these bunkers, but there is still another one on the right-hand side. A Queen dying in that exchange, as well as a creep tumor tries to get placed on the high ground to continue this aggression, but unable to keep that alive. A nice focus fire from Clem, but still Lambo trying to continue with this, bringing the spine crawlers to the top.
Yeah, he does bring the spine crawler up, but we have the master repair. The bunker will not go down. There are 2 spine crawlers, and SCVs are falling.
Spine crawlers, they are getting some damage done. Focus firing down.
Clutch
The Marines
there
on the back line, but the bunker, I mean, the repair is just too much.
The bunker just can't be killed. The bunker's immortal.
Well. Nice focus fire with the bunker there by Clem.
Finally.
Able to take that down. Morling's coming in. Is there a world where Lambo's actually able to keep moving forward with this? There's 1 more bunker left.
Every time he kills one, another one's just right there waiting.
Yeah,
it's like it feels like you're getting so much damage, and it feels like you're getting so much real estate at the top of this ramp. But there's just another bunker on the back line, then a tank spawning as well. The tank basically seals this. I feel like, how are you ever going to go up this ramp anymore with that tank sitting there? Going to be able to get some more stuff out as well. The Reaper finding some more information on the bottom right-hand side. Actually, the fact that that's even alive at this point is pretty crazy. We'll be able to send it right across the map, but there's going to be basically nothing to defend until that queen gets out.
Yeah, Lambo supply blocked. At this point, the aggression is failing for Lambo. He still has a position outside of the base, that is true, but he doesn't really have anything else behind this. He can't really threaten the expansion, not with the tank counts. He's going for it though.
It's like around 3 or 4, whatever it is now. Spine crawler moving up
god,
the ramp.
no, the spine.
The siege tank just absolutely decking it there. As the spine crawler gets taken out, Morling's flooding out into the main base, but the defense just a little bit too sturdy there for Clem, and Clem's going to take game number 1.
Yeah, I love the idea from Lambo. It looked like it had a couple moments there where he might have been able to bust on through, but the bunker repair just a little bit too strong. The defense from Clem really well-rounded, and it seemed like he just had the perfect answer to this actual build. Whether or not he's like faced against this exact style before, I'm not exactly sure, but it felt like he's just
I want to wait and see what Stay
in this
says.
particular defense.
I was pretty impressed with Lambo pushing up to the main base because I was kind of deterministic about
GG well played. I will say that when it comes to the execution of the build, there was potential there for Lambo. He was gaining some ground. As I said during the game itself, I do think that Lambo was very late to push his second spine crawler forward. I'm referring to the moment where we had the first spine crawler nibbling away at the depot, and we had the Master Link Queen getting ready to push up the ramp and eventually breaking through. But that second spine was a bit too far behind, wasn't adding any DPS, and eventually Lambo did push it forward, but it took like 30, 40, 50 seconds for that to happen. Like, it took a long time for that decision to be made, whereas we could have had extra DPS, killing the depot faster, killing the bunkers even faster as well. There's a lot that can be added with that extra spine crawl, I should say. So I do think the execution was a little bit lacking there from Lambo. Regardless, GG well played. Clem, he does hold well, and now we're getting to game number 2.
Got here in the first place. I mean, being able to beat Bunny as well with some of these crazy tactics. Cure, I think, is who he was able to knock out in the group stage to get here, I believe. So yeah, it's been a lot of early aggression from Lambo, so we'll see if he's got something else cooked up. I'm sure he does. Let's continue to be Lambo-leavers.
Yeah, Lambo, he's one of the smartest Zerg players around. I love to discuss the game with him, or even just hear his thoughts on the game if he's casting or if he's analyzing, because he has such an insightful perspective. And it's fun whenever you see a really smart player play the game, because sometimes their games just look completely alien to everything that you're expecting. Like that game number 1 with Clem, right? With the spine crawler rush there, at a very peculiar placed hatchery, the natural expansion there of Clem. But so far here in game number 2, looking to be much more standard fare.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing absolutely ridiculous coming out of Lambo in the first few minutes here. But something else that he did like to do in those earlier ZVT series was go for the 2-base lair and the Roach Ravager styles as well. Something that a lot of Zergs have been doing lately, and Lambo found great success from that against the other Terrans of the tournament. So I would not be surprised if he tries to bring some of that out. And he was also very close to beating Clem in his series. I believe it was on this map as well.
Obviously, I do agree with States. We've been vocal about ourselves, where Lambo, he's a very analytical analyst, and I do appreciate it whenever they do have him like on an analyst test for a big event. Casting is decent as well, depending on what he's casting. Like, throw Lambo in a ZVZ or Z matchup, like, he's solid. It's a bit of a shame that we don't really have the equivalent of that for Terran and Protoss. I think it would be nice if that was something that was out there. Unfortunately, isn't quite the case. But yeah, it's something that we always do value whenever he's a part of a broadcast. For EWC specifically last year, it was always great to have Lamb on the casting couch, or on the analyst desk, if you will. Always.
Cure, who had a top 4 finish at the GSL, able to take down Bonnie in round 1 of the RSL playoffs. He's running the gauntlet right now in ZBT, because now he's got to go up against Clem here, already down 0-1 in this best of 5 series. Let's see what he's able to do. I like that this is shaping up for more of a macro game between these two because I really want to see what Lambo's going to try and get done.
Reaper's trying to find whatever it can. Actually does
gets
get a
a drone.
drone, as they do get a little bit jumbled up there at the bottom of the mineral line. So a nice little catch there for Clem.
Yeah, very nice pick. I've had a Clem behind this going for a third CC before Starport. Economic build out of our Terran player. And welcome once again to Missing You Today. Welcome to the... Ooh, even snipes the tumor and gets away. But welcome to Missing You Today. This is a very large map. Very large map. Long rushes and spike ground. Defendable bases. The bases are a little bit more spread out. Similar to White Rabbit in that respect. But we often see longer games. But the question becomes, what does Lambo bring to the table? Because we don't really expect Lambo to play macro, right? Last game we went for an all-in. That's the kind of thing we expect. All-ins, timing attacks, 2-base all-ins, 3-base all-ins, cheeky builds, early tech. That's what we expect out of Lambo. But we'll see. We'll see if he even tries to maybe be greedy, and that's an approach you can take as well. Where in a standard game you do struggle against Clem, but what if you can cut some corners? What if you can take the gold base, for example? Right? There are 2 gold bases on Missing You Today, so that can also factor in as well. So we'll see. I'm sure Lambo's dissected the map.
There is no wall in just yet, but 3 more drones getting started.
Reaper's still trying to find whatever it can, but the queens are out in number, so we'll be able to keep this away.
So the timing attack is Nolan Light Analyst. That's true.
What they can do to again clear up some of this creep and potentially go for a deep dive onto some of the drones, as the Cloak Banshee follow-up will be joining that very soon as well. I feel like if you do go for the Cloak, you're generally trying to be, a little bit more aggressive with it, of course, since you're investing so much into that extra tech. So we'll see how aggressive exactly he wants to go with this. Nice little Evo block on the drones there, so won't lose anything on that part. So yeah, we'll see if we can get more from Clem in just a little bit here.
Yeah, Lambo pretty quick with the Evolution Chamber drop right there. Able to prevent the Hellions and the Reaper from diving on that mineral line, as Clem is going to pivot down.
Yeah, behind this going 3CC Banshee in towards 3-1-1. Standard follow here by Clem. It is going to be an earlier lair at a Lambo. I believe that is lair before Evo Chambers.
3 fast CCs coming in by Clem. Partly just because Lambo, after losing that very first drone...
Also, obviously, I'd like to believe that we bring more analysts to these casters here when it comes to RSL broadcasts.
Relying on the positioning of his queens to deflect this harassment from Clem.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job of that as well. I mean, he's got these 2 queens on the left-hand side. That one little ramp right there is very easy to block with just a few of them, and then you got the 3 on the right-hand side as well. So very nice management from Lambo overall on this queen defense of the Hellions. Of course, the Banshees should be...
What I'm most curious by is the tech of Lambo. I'm curious to see if he does go into Hydrogen, into Spire, or into Fast Infestation Pits with his lair soon to be finishing. Double Bailey Nest.
For the Hellions to try and do dive if they find the opportunity.
Hopefully Lambo does know this.
Lair not just done. Okay, finally now finishing in. So Overseer will be able to morph in. I think this means that Lambo should be able to save this space despite the 2 Banshees, but it will be pretty close. This is actually going to be a cancel match. There's some more room to micro, and Clem going to try and
the queens are distracted. The base is going to go down.
Of attention here on Lambo. Try and get some damage to the Hellions and the Reapers.
He gets it.
Hatch gets canceled. That's a painful loss here for Lambo.
He really waited a long time to get that cancel as well, so it was really kind of one of the last-second things. So lots of wasted time right there on that 4th base. As Clem...
So that is a really brutal start here for Lambo as Hellions. They poke in, they get a couple of drone kills, but the scary thing here is that because Lambo has a late 4th base, he has less creep, he has less production, he has less economy. This first 7-minute push from Clem, which moves out with Stim 1-1 with his bio army and with factory support, is going to hit very hard at that 4th base. The goal for Clem should be to knock down the 4th or the 5th base and to bring it down, and he'll be that much more confident in doing so because of how delayed the expansion already is. Clem has momentum.
And Lambo, double Evolution Chamber upgrades now coming in. Melee and
Hydrogen.
Carapace. We have a Hydralisk Den also being thrown down here by the Zerg.
We have our tech of choice.
Baneling style coming in from Lambo, and oftentimes when you see this played in the GSL, it's more of a defensive setup that the Zerg is going for. The Hydralisks are allowing the Zerg player to actually take down everything that's going to be the Metavacs. It prevents some of this more offensive dropship play that we sometimes see Terran players try and execute here in the mid game. But I wonder with the +1 melee and the +1 Carapace, how much of this is just going to be Ling Baneling and how much of it is going to be actually setting up for potentially a Hive transition into Ultras.
Widowmine almost getting the juiciest shot of all time.
It's interesting that State brings that up. Obviously, whenever you see Ultra Tech, it's typically off of Roach-based play. Going Ling Bane Hydra Ultra is a little bit less standard. This can lead more kind of more naturally into Hive Tech like Vipers and even into Lurker Tech. I'm not saying that Ultras are not feasible here, but we're spending a lot of gas on Hydras, so any kind of Hive Tech setup is going to be much later.
But just wants to clear out as much creep as possible to set up an eventual further attack. It's also interesting how mine heavy he's gone. Of course, he's seen the very Ling Bane heavy style. It's not going to be roaches or anything like that, so he's going to be going for that. Nice little focus fire there as well by Clem on a couple of those.
And here comes Clem push. Clem push.
Does start to move on the left-hand side.
With Overlord speed finishing up here for Lambo, I wonder if he might try and get aggressive after repelling one of these attacks. We could have Banelings running into the third base. We could have drops eventually here in the main base with the natural expansion, but instead the focus for now is going to be Clem trying to attack down into this fourth expansion. Half the army here for Clem is occupying the ramp. The rest is on the low ground right now. Some well-positioned.
Clem does he react in time? Oh, he does.
Okay, Clem is going to see the Banelings here running into the third base.
Yeah, nice reaction. If he was even just a second too slow on that, that would have been huge. But actually, the
oh my God, he doesn't pay attention now.
As the Banelings connect with the Marines extremely well. Lambo able to take a great fight right there. A bit of an uncharacteristic mistake from Clem. Normally, his multitasking is really some of the best in the business. You can see he's really frustrated with that, shaking his head in the webcam as well. As he's someone that's usually used to just being able to micro on both fronts very easily. So
Clem not paying attention. He wasn't paying attention. He was caught with his pants down, and with that, Lambo does take a better fight. Emphasizing what Gemini just said, it was a surprisingly good fight for Lambo, and with that, Clem, he's losing a lot of momentum. Lambo is gaining map control, and one bad fight can cost you the game. Because that bad fight, that means that Lambo saves the fourth base. He shuts down this drop as well. Creep is maintained, pressure is alleviated, and now Lambo can max. Now he can max out, whereas otherwise he would not have been able to. So that was a huge win for Lambo.
Down instead here for around. Not everything is able to get picked up there by the medevacs. A couple of losses.
And if Lambo wins this game, unironically, a little bit comes down to that push, comes down to that fight. Like Clem having to back off after that moment is huge.
From Lambo will be able to dislodge that position, but like you said, not too much losses overall from Clem, so it's not the worst thing in the world, just loses the position on the map. But this is a great move here from Lambo overall. I feel like he's really gotten some nice tempo in this game compared to the early game. But even, I mean, actually, I guess even with the early game, I feel like he did kind of defend the Hellions pretty well, the Banshees, besides
again, now Lambo is able to spread creep, engulf the map. He's going for the gold expansion top right. You can see how everything very quickly is snowballing out of control in favor of Lambo.
It's definitely the best we've seen him in either of the two series that he's played against Clem this RSL. So yeah, I'm very liking this position right now for Lambo.
Lambo's playing an excellent defensive macro game right now as the Hive is about halfway done. Lambo expanding all the way to the top right corner of the map.
Oh, is he looking?
Test the waters here in front of the fourth base of Clem, forcing another liftoff. This planetary not yet morphed in yet.
Yeah, fourth base is going to be delayed. Lambo coming in from behind. He's collapsing in the army.
There aren't enough Liberators to actually usher Lambo away. And Lambo was tagging into the third base at the same time. Was wondering for a moment if he might try and sandwich that Terran army, but instead, Lambo, thinking he's already got the damage that he needs done, is going to back up for now.
He backs up due to the mine shots. Like, there was some brutal with mine connections there for Clem. Clem, he defends well.
Yeah, that position on the right-hand side at that third base, that
Gemini noticed.
Barracks, all of the Lings and Banes got funneled into that tiny little choke point next to the barracks and the wall, and it really made it difficult for Lambo to actually continue that flank. If he was able to actually get around that, I think he actually had some leeway. Yeah, like right there is when he got really bottlenecked.
Yeah,
so
Map will notice as well.
It's a bit unfortunate there for Lambo. He did lose quite a lot of supply in that engagement, but he's still set up nicely for the late game anyway. He's got tons of bases. He's got his economy fully set up. He's got infestors out on the map right now as well, so it's not like he just lost the game with that move or anything.
This is better recovery from Gemini, because Stay was insinuating that Lambo backed off because he chose to. Like, Gemini is emphasizing that he was forced to.
Very proficient in this late game
nice
situation.
Ooh.
The fungal is huge. Catches a good number of Marines and Marauders. Is Clem going for, I think this is a Widow Mine drop coming through. Yeah, with the armory and perhaps even Drilling Claws done. Clem trying to be a nuisance on Lambo's side of the map, trying to slow down
another
the economic
fungal. Oh my
machine
god.
here. of Lambo.
The fungals keep connecting.
And Lambo, for now, it seems like he is content just to play this Hydraling, Baneling style, just a little bit better upgraded. You know, he's got a lunge upgrade now. Adrenal's about to finish. +3 Carapace and +2 melee attack are underway.
Now, this is what we should talk about the map itself. We spoke earlier how this is a very large map, and it does often favor and does lean towards longer games, and we're getting into a max out kind of situation for the first time tonight. But something important about these bases are how spread out they are. They're much more spread out. I will say that the entrances are very narrow, so being able to turtle up on this map is easier. If you remember, this was one of our big criticisms of Missing You today, was how easy it is to turtle up on 5 bases. But for whoever doesn't have, for whoever isn't turtling, there are 2 gold bases. So Lemmy has 2 gold expansions available to him, so he will have a boosted economy to make up for the fact that Clem is hyper turtling up.
Any economic damage here, so really nice control. It really feels like Lambo's in a flow state right now, just defending everything with ease. He's got great control all over the map, prepared for everything. The Liberator also able to get denied by these couple of Spore Crawlers. That won't get too much damage.
Nice once again.
On some of these Marines,
very nice.
Able to connect with the Banelings yet again. The trades for Lambo continue to be very good.
Yeah, can we get a shot actually at the units lost tab? Because it feels like Lambo's played such an efficient
Ooh,
game.
didn't get
Look at that,
Wow.
more cost efficient than Terran heading into the 13-minute mark. You rarely see this in modern ZVT. Usually it's Zerg with a large economy just kind of throwing meat into the grinder.
Important push every Clem at the same time. Lambo does counterattack.
Right now is Lambo once more going to be attacking into this 4th base. Army nowhere to be found here for Clem. Just some Ghosts and Liberators here on the high ground. That's going to mean that Lambo will be taking down this command center. Lambo does lose 1 hatchery on his side of the map, but he is really every other base. You know,
I mean, Clem is going for the 2nd gold, and he might get both. He might get both gold bases.
Going up into the top right corner. If this hatchery falls, it might become an issue here for Zerg, but there are still so many minerals left to saturate.
Yeah, losing both gold bases a bit unfortunate here for Lambo. So, yeah, a bit of a bite back there for Clem. Able to continue to stay in this game. He's doing his best, of course. As we said, Clem is someone that is so proficient in these late game situations. He's
Here comes a 5th base for Clem. Now he can max. Now he can sustain his max army, I should say.
Really high. So Clem definitely still fighting back. He's absolutely got a large army right now, and
Clemmy's gaining ground.
Positions. Lambo has been doing well overall, but he's never actually gotten to a point where it's just like totally over for Clem by any means. So Clem now with a big death push.
And nice free split. He's on creep though, coming with
around
around.
On this army. Lings and Banelings
The
flooding in from all
fungals.
sides right
He
now.
wins.
Can the Infestors get good fungals? None of them connect just yet, but it doesn't seem to matter. The Lings and Banelings are streaming in. Clem is going to stutter step back into the expansion actually of Lambo and try and lift everything up. The Ghosts for now are able to survive. No fungal connected with the Medivacs, but man, what a fight taken by Lambo. And Clem right now, this army is basically stranded here in the main base.
And again, Clem, he was basically all in with that. That was everything he had. He was completely committed. He did take down 2 gold bases. He takes down one of the Baneling nests as well. But Lambo now switching into Corruptors, into anti-air.
But yeah, it's going to be so difficult to get everything out right now. 10 Corruptors about to finish up as well. I feel like all these Medivacs and all those units are doomed to die. So now it's up to Clem to try and find anything else on the map as he boosts another Medivac to the left-hand side.
God,
yeah, there goes
you lose
all
everything.
those Medivacs. That's so much supply and so many units. Some Ghosts as well in there. That's going to be really painful to lose.
I mean, that was just the perfect trade for Lambo as Clem falls down below 160 supply right now. Clem on his side of the map, he has been able to secure another expansion. He's also retaken the expansion at the 9 o'clock position. And he's gotten some good jabs in too. Kills the drones down and some overlords here in the bottom left corner. The problem is that Lambo, he is so big economically that losing those gold bases, even losing the drones down the bottom left, it's not causing as much of a disruption as you would typically see in a ZVT. Instead, Lambo, he is still maxed. He even has, what, a 3,000 or 4,000 resource bank? And he's locking up for another attack here.
Oh. Big Widowmine shot right there on some of those Zerglings, but the rest of the
Oh,
army is still
God, the
extremely
mines.
strong right now. The Corruptor is also going to be helping out versus this large...
Despite that, Lambo should have enough. He's getting a couple of Ghosts. There's 3 Ghosts down to 2. 2 Ghosts left. They do get away.
A lot of the bio on the reinforcement on the right
Does
hand
break
side
the
was able to
planetary.
clean up some of those units, but the PF falls down as well. So Clem will be able to defend, but not without taking some heavy
Now
losses.
with the Ultra Switch.
It was a very expensive trade for Lambo, though. That was a lot of Banelings that went down. The Corruptors, some of them fell, some of them were badly injured right now, and you can really see the discrepancy in the units lost tab. The thing is, the income advantage, as Mapu wisely pointing out, heavily into Lambo's favor. The question is, who can sustain these losses better? Lambo might be trading inefficiently on Clem's side of the map, but I think think it is worth it as long as he's able to keep the expansions of Terran under control. Because Clem has never had that moment where he's able to throw down a ton of macro command centers. Actually, looking at the minimap, it is the main orbital that is flying down to the 9 o'clock position. Clem really not in the best of ways.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult if a couple more of these bases do get sniped off by the Banelings. Of course, you need to be a little careful as Lambo. You don't want to be overzealous and just kind of lose
catching out 1, 2, 3 Liberators.
Some Corruptors, again, finding...
Lambo moves in, Clem's out of position.
Any defenses, and so this base is once again going to get dislodged. The reinforcements not quite here in time, and there's still a large army on the right-hand side. Thankfully, that Widowmine does see that. So, I almost called him Maru. Clem is able to respond knowing that there's nothing...
Oh, these Terrans look the same. Ah, no.
Left-hand side and get that base going because he really needs that economy.
The game is quieting down just a little bit here as Lambo's mustering more forces, 8 more Corruptors in production.
So something we should emphasize, of course, is that Clem has done a great job at denying some bases. So Lambo doesn't have the biggest bank that he otherwise should have because he kept losing the gold expansion. I want to say it went down like, what, 3 different times? So his base has been falling and it has been slowing Lambo down. But at the same time, he's still now maxed out with a superior army and he's still looking for that fungal.
Medevacs and Liberators, that can be huge here for Lambo.
These Widow Mines are still being very difficult.
Oh, he lands it! Oh my god.
Some of those bio units will be able to keep, tag up those, so that way the Banelings can actually get the connections there. Very nicely done. The Ultras trying to get some damage, but then a couple snipes also able to deal with that. So the trades back and forth, but
he lands
I feel
it again.
like Lambo is still taking the initiative here.
Gets a ghost.
Some infestors are starting to fall as well, which is a bit unfortunate, and now the bio is pretty strong on the left-hand side, so
we do break the base.
Will get killed off, but a lot of the units as well for Lambo.
But it's the same story as the 9 o'clock expansion getting taken out.
Once again, he loses the base.
Trades, they're expensive here for Lambo. They're not cost-efficient trades, but his economy is so much bigger that he's basically accepting the losses. He's muscling over this, and Clem senses this. He doesn't have a command center. He's actually lifting the natural expansion now towards 12 o'clock. Because there's no other easy way to populate those mineral lines. So Clem feeling the pressure right now is going to be charging in.
Oh, he drags the mine.
Lambo looking for this round. A lot
yeah,
of
drags the mine in.
GG. GG called. Lambo tying up the series 1-1.
Oh my god, the Lambo Leavers. We are here. He is alive in this series. It's the first time he's taken a map off of Clem in this tournament so far in both of the series that they've played.
GG.
So
GG, well played. If you recall, like, I'll have to repeat what I said earlier in the game. We called it when it happened. I was like, yo, if Lambo wins this game, it's because of this fight. We mentioned it, and again, that's why Clem also reacted the way that he did as well, was when Clem wasn't looking. When he wasn't looking, he wasn't paying attention. He was fixated and distracted by a Ling run by at his, a Baneling run by at his third base. As that was happening, bam, Lambo pounced. Lambo caught the 2 medevacs full of Marines, and with that happening, that meant that Lambo could secure his 4th base, get his 5th base, spread creep, gain map control, build up his upgrades, and slow the game down. And Clem lost so much momentum when that happened, and that was the moment where Lambo took a lead and he ran with it from there. Made sure he didn't make any missteps or mistakes afterwards. Because the map is so large, Clem, who was just stuck at home, he was forced to turtle, and because, and as we mentioned, when it comes to this map specifically, because these bases are so spread out on Missing You today, it is difficult as the defending player to rotate between them. So Clem could not defend his bases. He was still losing planetaries despite being forced to turtle up. The turtle failed as he just kept losing bases. Kept losing bases, kept losing expansions. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have a back and forth series, and we'll see where our players do take us this time. As it looks like we're going for a short break. Going to be going for a short break. When we come back, we'll have our next game. We'll have our next matchup. Or we'll have game 3. See you soon. See you soon after the break. Hope.
Stuff and just general gamer and SC2 things. Like, of course, it is getting nice and hot.
welcome back everyone, welcome back. Ooh, hope you enjoyed that lovely break. We've returned here with the RSL Revival Soccer League Season 5 Playoffs Day 4 co-stream. We are mid-series here between Clem and Lambo. We're currently tied up 1-1, and I'm curious to see how the rest of the series progresses. It's great to see Lambo fighting back against Clem, but I would say that a larger map like Missing today is Zerg favored because of its features, because of its size, because of the distance between all the bases that is unique to that map. So we should be seeing something different out of Lambo moving forward in the series. Remember, very often, especially when it comes to Zerg players, their build, their style does depend on the map itself. As we are loading into Necropolis, let's go. And what I should really say is for all players, really. Let's go.
Lambo's the real deal. He's spawning in the top left is the red Zerg, Clem down in the bottom right is the blue Terran. Yeah, you never know what kind of game you're going to be getting from Lambo. I mean, me being a Protoss player, most of the games that I see from Lambo, most of the replays that I study in general are going to be Protoss games. So I'm mostly familiar with Lambo's EVP, which is very spellcaster heavy if he's trying to play for a late game. I'm thinking back again to a game that I saw between him and Classic recently where it was like, you ever get those dreams where just nothing quite seems normal, but you can't tell that you're asleep? I thought that I might have been asleep watching this game because Classic would pan to the center of the map, and there would be like 30 evolution chambers just haphazardly placed, and I was struggling to understand what was going on. It was for like Mass Vipers to be able to consume.
Was he playing against Harst? That was his most recent video, was going Mass Viper.
Oh my God, was Lambo farming Classic for content? Maybe. I mean, it was Mass Viper. There are evolution chambers anyway, everywhere, but anyway, the point that I'm making is Lambo is really capable of anything. He's got some very good late game play, very spellcaster focused.
Okay, so we do have a delayed gas here from Lambo. So typically with a late gas geyser, this means either fast lair or fast roach warren. On a map like Necropolis, where you do have a much more secure 2 and then 3 base setup, there is a chance that this could be 2 base muta, 2 base lair into a fast spire. But we'll see. For now, we're looking to see if it is going to be that faster roach warren or lair, then that can unlock the potential of 2 base muta or even 2 base hydra, which is also a build that we have been seeing as of late, or even 2 base roach into a roach all in. So Lambo, he does unlock all these different tech paths. This build that Lambo is going for has been very common amongst the Korean Zerg players. So Rogue, Shin, Solar, if you've been watching them play, you would have seen gasless openers be quite prevalent throughout the course of their matches this year.
Still going well as well. So Lambo is bringing out all the stops here so far in this series, as he does try to get that 3rd base, so it's not going to be any super fast early lair stuff coming out from him this game, at least. It's going to be some more of that 3-hatch goodness, some good old macro play.
And I like the way the Lambo did this too. He sent out 2 drones, one to the linear expansion on the north side and one towards the triangle expansion towards the center, knowing that
and this 3 CC before for Clem, 3 CC before starport.
So Lambo just securing that 3rd hatchery nice and early here, preventing the Reaper from any more delays. And Clem,
am I crazy? Was that before factory? Is this 3CC 211? It is. Oh, there you go.
We'll see what his follow-up is.
I thought I was seeing things. I was like, wait, is this 3CC before factory? It's like, oh, it is. So it's going to be 3CC 211. This is going to be hitting a stim timing at around 6 minutes. So it's going to be a later stim timing out of Clem, but I mean, it will hit quite hard nonetheless. And if Lambo is being too greedy, for example, if he is in fact going to base muta, then he will be punished for it, or he can be punished for it.
He does try to switch it up just a little bit here in this 3rd game right now, as the Reaper still does try to get some extra scouting information.
That's what the Roach Warren.
Know exactly what's going on. If you can get a drone, that would be nice.
As you mentioned, gasless means either a fast lair or fast Roach Warren. It is going to be the Roach Warren.
Clem coming out with an early little advantage with that drone micro there.
Clem Reapers is built different. It feels like most TVZ games at the top level, you don't even want to. I mean, as casters, we know this. You don't even really want to talk about the Reaper trying to get damage done because it basically never culminates in anything. But with Clem, there is always a very real possibility of a drone getting sniped. It just seems like if this was like a campaign, you would have like the Clem Reaper, which has like a 20% higher rate of fire or something like that. You know, like his Reapers just get more done. I don't know how he does it, but Clem consistently able to pick off drones. It's happened multiple times in this series already.
I feel like this early game TVZ interaction is just like caster purgatory for me. It's just like I'm just stuck here casting the same Reaper versus drones and Lings over and over and over again. Nothing ever happens, and then one Reaper finally kills the drone. I'm like, oh my god, I'm free! Yes, I'm done with this purgatory. Get me out of here.
All right, Roach is now coming on the field here for Lambo. The usual transition from Roaches, and I know I might be getting ahead of myself here, is to play the Roach in the mid game with fast +1 Carapace and then kind of pivot into fast Ultralisk. It can be on a 3-base economy.
It's very common. It's very common to go Roach into Ultra. I don't think it's a bad thing that State brings it up now, just because we see the layer in a second Evo chamber. If we didn't see the second Evo chamber, there's a high chance that this actually could be an all-in. But the second chamber tells us that Lambo is going for another upgrade, going for a later timing attack, and he's building up into a longer game. So I do think that this would be the time to talk about the potential Ultras.
Setting up this bio transition, of course, off of the third command center, getting the stim finished up, getting the extra 2 medevacs coming on out, so he will be finding his way onto the map in just a little bit.
So once the layer is done, we're looking for an infestation pits. At the same time, remember what we said earlier, it's a 3cc 2-on-1. Clem, he's now moving out with his initial double drop.
Upgrades, as you would expect, as he does find just an overlord on the map. We'll take that for free.
As I mentioned, typically gets across about 6 minutes. Meanwhile, there's infestation bit that tells us it is going to be Hive and it's going to be initially Infestors, then into Ultra Tech.
Timing window. Usually it's Terran that has this advantage, and we are going to have the infestation pit thrown down here from Lambo. So taking up in a Hive, building up towards Ultralisks is a real possibility here for Zerg. Can Lambo weather the storm?
I would hedge it a little bit less, and I'd say that with a little bit more certainty that there's a higher chance it is going to be Ultras, but typically Infestor first just to be safe. Meanwhile, double drop into the main. Ooh, Clem does get in.
Right now, so he has a couple more overlords that he could lose if he wanted to. Oh, lucky him. Yeah, dropping 2 more overlords here, but
dude,
no supply
Clem is probably
block.
like, God, he's so supply blocked right now. Dude, I'm doing so good, and Lambo's just like sitting here at 190 possible supply or whatever.
Oh, there's the Hive. Okay, 6-minute Hive coming in here from Lambo. So it seems like we will be having the Ultralisk transition coming through. Right now, just 64 drones. A couple more are in production here for Lambo, but I wouldn't be surprised if
So this is what we need to talk about, like the emphasis or the kind of like big power spike that's coming. Rushing into Ultras like this in such a fashion, it can be devastating because the Terran player will not have Ghost ready. Ghost Liberators will not be ready in time for this. You have to rely on Marauders early on. And Clem, I think he may have just seen the Hive morphing in, which would have been a huge scout. You can see the production tab, Marauder production has begun. So Clem, he needs Marauders as quickly as possible to get ready for the eventual Ultras. Clem cannot stop Lambo from getting there. Ultra Tech is coming.
Macro this one could be going. Doesn't want to try to end it super early on 3 bases or anything like that. We'll be going to that longer late game.
And Clem actually starting a reactor in the tech lab right now.
So shout out to Mapu for confirming.
If he knows exactly where Lambo is at right now in terms of development, because I feel like, okay, we do have one more barrack switching into
yeah, so it looks like State might have missed it, but shout out to Maple because he knew to confirm. But Clem did see the Hive, so Clem knows.
Has started, and so much of really withstanding the first storm of this as the Terran player is having a healthy Marauder count. Otherwise, the Ultralisks with their fast +2 Carapace upgrade, with the Ultralisk armor itself getting finished in just a little bit, they can just pulverize positions that rely on Marines for their DPS.
I don't know if you notice, there's a funny thing that happens every now and then in RSL is Mapu, he just showed Clem's vision for a second time in the main base because he wants the caster to understand that Clem knows.
This right-hand side base, as the Marines in the main actually able to deal a decent amount of damage. There weren't enough roaches actually left behind to deal with that.
Mapu, he's like, guys, look, por favor.
On that top left side, and we even have Microbial Shroud getting researched here from Lambo, so we'll be using that in combination with the Ultralisk to try and get some really heavy engagements that can just be really bursty and just force the Terran to relocate.
Ultralisk Cavern is done. 2 Ultras get started here for Lambo. There hasn't been a big head-to-head engagement between these two just yet.
Behind this, we have Microbial Shroud on the way. That is, of course, to support the Ultras.
Lambo fishing a little bit right now with the Infestor, trying to catch a fungal on these 2 straight.
And Clem shouldn't find a way in, but he's at least denying creep, right? He's denying creep, he's getting map control. This will give him time to react and respond to the Ultras.
Lambo, they're about halfway done. One of them will finish at this 12 o'clock base.
Clem is being very patient with this. He doesn't want to go in overzealously. He doesn't want to just kind of dive in and then just get fungled. So he's being very careful, just trying to bait Lambo out, trying to force him into his tank line and get a nice position here. We'll be able to get one of those Ultras pretty low before the engagement happens. A fungal did get chained off right there. Not sure how much it hit, but it did get a decent amount there. But still, that tank line and Widowmine line is still so large. It's going to be very difficult for Lambo to actually
nice catch from Lambo. He does catch reinforcements.
Will get killed off.
At the same time, Fungals are landing once again.
Will get caught by the fungal, but again,
nice Microbial Shroud.
He's going to use that.
Tanks are going down.
Try and do that. The damage is much less, and another
huge fungal. Oh my god!
That bio
the Fungals keep landing. Lambo holds. Clem's in trouble.
There's just so much left standing there for Lambo at the 12 o'clock position. He's able to power through with pure roaches and infestors. The +2 carapace really paying dividends right now for a Lambo versus just the +1 infantry weapons of Clem. But Clem has stabilized on his side of the map. He's secured a 4th base. He's building additional command centers now. The 5th base has gotten started. Lambo, it feels like there should be a moment soon with ultras, more ultras streaming onto the map, where Lambo can actually burst onto Clem's side of the board and try and get some damage done. But Clem's actually done such a good job over the past few minutes of just levying pressure onto the Zerg that Lambo in a moment that...
Yeah, Clem, he's done a great job at just maintaining map control, right? He's just denied all the creep. He's keeping Lambo on the bases. A base goes down. He kills the 4th? Oh my god, that should not have happened.
So it's been very difficult to get these engagements. But again, the fungals continue to be so good from Lambo, making it as difficult as possible.
The fungals are good, the engagements are good for Lambo, but if he can't maintain these bases, Lambo can't max. Like, Lambo's broke. Ultras are expensive.
It seems like Clem still is in a nice position, but he's got to be careful because this bio is still very low.
Yeah, the bio is low, but unless there's a fungal that gets landed, there isn't really a lot of kill potential here for Lambo because there's nothing that can...
The drop stages continue. Clem is moving back in. He dives into the main.
So much mobility right now. Even though in a head-on engagement he loses to
and Lambo's had enough.
He's able basically to dance around the army of the Zerg.
Oh, the fungal! Oh my god, the chain fungals!
Snipes the hive. Fungal gonna connect with his Marauders, picks off most of the bio, but that is a worthwhile trade.
Gets a high NG infestor.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Good sides from both there. As of course the Ultralists will go
Ultras
on
are
to
exposed.
This planetary fortress, but god, that is so many reinforcements ready to meet.
And Clem takes a lead. After a very intense mid game here. Honestly, Lambo was taking better fights. Lambo, he was landing these fungals. He was defending well, taking better fights. He got into Ultra Tech. Lambo had momentum for the first part of this game, and then he's been losing it. Been losing bases, losing creep, and now Lambo's all in. Lambo's all in.
Attack right now. Spawning blast to get restarted. Lambo needs to get damage.
Sorry, it's RSL. I should say Lambo. He's going for a timing attack.
Fortress here on the front line.
Kappa.
Lings cleaning up SCVs there. You know, Clem, he's so cautious. Oh no, Widowmine actually connects there onto an infestor, and the command center here is forming a bit of a bottleneck. The Ultra's trying to chase through.
He's gonna keep going.
It's a really tough spot to actually squeeze through with all these large Zerg units.
Oh my god.
Shroud is gonna be dropped to give a little bit more sustain here to the Zerg army.
Looks like he barely gets a planetary
fortress. More units coming in to reinforce. The planetary will fall, but Lambo's army is so badly bruised.
Yeah, he's only got 40 army supply right now. He can't even remake anything with the
Lambo, that's it. That's all he had. He gets the base, but it's not enough. It's not good enough here. GG gets called. The all-in fails, and Clem takes the lead in the series.
Clem looking so good in that last game versus Lambo. Really just abusing the lack of mobility with the Ultralist composition. I mean, there was never really an answer to the Medivacs. It feels like very few of them actually got sniped over the course of the game because it's either Fungal or Queens. There's no other options for Zerg to actually take them out. And so Clem, just continuously dancing around the Zerg army, was able to levy so much pressure, especially in that main base, taking down the Hive, constantly having drop harassment near the 12 o'clock base.
So GG well played. I would push back against what State is saying here. He's like, oh, the mobility, like the counterattacks is dropping into the main base. Before all of that, there was, I would say, the big deciding factor which allowed for Clem to gain momentum. We spoke about it at the time, if you recall, we tried to emphasize it, was when Lambo lost the 4th base. Lambo, he had the army to defend, by the way. He had the army to defend. He was landing fungals. He was catching reinforcements. Like Lambo, he was taking better fights compared to Clem. But there was a moment where Clem, he was pushing on the right-hand side, he was distracting, and then he came in with reinforcements and he hit the 4th base of Lambo. And Lambo, he had ultras, he had them in between the bases, but they were late to react, late to respond. And once that 4th base went down, that's when the ball started rolling. If you remember, that was before the drop into the main. That was before Clem sniped the Hive. And that was a surprising moment. If you remember, we were like, yo, he just killed the 4th base. Like Lambo, he can't afford that. Like Lambo can't afford those kind of losses. He can't afford those kind of, he can't afford to not have an economy. And that's where Clem snowballed out of control. But for sure, like Clem was being very active and very aggressive, to a fault at times, where again Lambo was out trading him, but Lambo also had no map presence. GG well played. Let's jump in.
Clem leading this best of 5 series 2-1 over Lambo as he spawns in the bottom left here on Old Republic. Lambo up in the top right.
And so now I wonder if Lambo's going to kind of go back to some of the other stuff that he's been doing a little bit more so in the tournament with some early shenanigans. And with this drone finding its way across the map, seems like that might be the case. As we're going to be going for yet another proxy hatchery. which is interesting because the proxy hatchery earlier on in the series did not really find too much success.
So it's important to, and I'm sure Gemini and State are going to get into it as well. It's important to bear in mind that there are different variations of proxy hatchery. If you remember, initially we thought it was going to be a macro proxy hatch, but then Lambo went for the spine rush earlier in the series. Here, I would imagine this is a fake out. I say fake out. This is, I would imagine, designed to force a certain distinct reaction out of Clem to delay the economy. We'll see. We'll see if he does go for a hatchback at home or a spawning pool.
What we saw before, if you missed game number 1 between Lambo and Clem, was a very similar setup here in the early game.
Ooh, 2-max Reaper out of Clem.
I want to say a little bit later than this moment right now. Maybe
Clem going 2-max Reaper means he can't counterattack. Meanwhile, that's going to be an earlier gas at Lambo this time. Remember game 1, Lambo didn't go for any gases. He went for a spine rush as a result. Here, he does get an early gas. So there's a difference.
As we saw in the GSL a couple of times, especially by Shin, you can go for a hatchery like this one and just try to disrupt the economy of the Terran. You know, I'm very foggy on the math in terms of how this actually pays off for Zerg, but it seems like that's what Lambo is going for. He's trying to slow down Clem while expanding on his own side.
I do kind of like this too, because since he went for the really aggressive version, the all-in version, the first game, this could possibly force an overreaction from Clem when he does get the
Well, I mean, Clem's blindly going 2-max Reaper, so he's going to blindly be pushing across the map anyway. I mean, potentially. We'll see if he stays home.
So we'll see this now. I really wonder how this would interact going
He
against
ignores
the
it.
all-in
I do
version.
really like this for Clem. He ignores the hatchery, goes across the map.
Potential and stuff like that. But regardless, it's not going to be the all-in version, so we'll see if this maybe forces an overreaction or not. But since Clem sees that there's no spine crawlers being morphed...
Ooh, Lambo stays in gas. That's the most important part here. Lambo is going for Link Speed, and he stays in gas, which means he might go for a Bane Bust or a Roach Rush or Fast Lair.
A scout with the follow-up is going to be here from Lambo. Actually sees
Clem confirms.
Gas being mined, even though Zergling speed has already been started here for our Zerg player, while the other Reaper gets to work on that hatchery with some reinforcing Marines from the main base. Eventually putting a timer on this, but you need to be careful as Clem. There is a Queen getting started here. Lings are in production. It actually seems like it might be a Baneling bust coming through here, Gemini, as the gas continues to be mined here by Lambo.
Yeah, as I mentioned, extra gas means either Baneling Nest, Roach Horn, or Lair. And based on all these things, that might be a bust.
These Marines with the Queen to help as well. Still no Baneling Nest being morphed, as it's just going to be more Lings coming in. Speed will be finished up.
The Queen is cornered, Lings as well. Massive pick off here for Clem.
The Queen will get cornered and killed off as well, as these reinforcing Lings should.
And Lambo's all in.
Get killed off eventually, but
see, I said in the chat, maybe we'll see a D10 rush next game. That's a deep cut, and you're not wrong.
Why this is going so poorly for Lambo
You're not wrong.
He didn't anticipate this being a 2-Rex opening from Clem. Clem just has so much more production than a Terran normally would in a situation like this one. It's quite rare to have. If you go for a 2-Rex opening, it's usually at the natural expansion. Zerg should be able to figure that out very quickly. Clem went for the double Rax opening in the main base, so Lambo didn't really realize this until he saw the second Reaper, and by then the die has already been cast. So this hatchery gonna get taken down. I think Baneling Nest was likely
what happens
to be
first?
the play
Because
here
it
for
does
Lambo.
get this
He's
round.
going for a surround. These are Speedlings, so they're gonna get on top of the Marines.
Nice
A lot
surround.
of them should be picked off. There isn't a full
the positioning
wall in here
though.
for Clem.
The positioning.
Oh, the Reaper's even getting surrounded. Okay, Lambo
Oh my
catching a
god.
little bit of momentum
He gets in.
now.
He gets in. The boys are late. The boys had to be pulled earlier.
Right now, the Marines are still getting.
There's nothing to defend. He's doing it.
A little bit. Didn't expect the fast speed.
Ace
with so many
match.
extra Lings coming out, and now things are getting a bit crazy in the main base.
Oh, I say that Hellions are out. Okay, Hellions are out. They will zone this back. Clem is still in this game.
Will still be here, and the hatchery was never actually killed off, so that creep is still here, and there's still production as well at the front.
Yeah, those Lings might try and pounce in again because of the creep right now at the ramp. Clem cannot wall in, and look at this. Spine crawlers once more getting morphed in here on Clem's side of the map. Lambo is doubling down. I really thought that after Clem was able to get the hatchery down to just a sliver of HP after he stabilized on the low ground, this rush was over. But Lambo, with a big surround on the Reapers, on the Marines, has regained some momentum. Right now he's hiding these Lings on the backside of this expansion. Now going for a surround once more.
Pick up,
The
Abby.
Lings can lift this back up. Just be careful.
Please add a couple Marines.
Wait for those spine crawlers to finish.
Those
Snaps the
Hellions are
queen.
very threatening on that ramp. He doesn't want to overextend into that. You saw for just a moment, it looked like he might actually get.
And behind this, Lamb is droning. No shot. He's droning, but he's macroing out of this.
Hatchery trying to get sniped here from Clem. Will be able to
Gets
actually
a
finally
base.
kill this one off, so that's very nice. Can't go too deep, of course, because the Spine Crawlers and the Zerglings are still there, but Lambo able to get an Evo chamber on the back end here, trying to send a drone to the third base as well, so he will be transitioning from this. He's not going to be trying to bust this down any longer, of course. He doesn't really have the means to do that anymore now that the army from Clem is
So who do we favor in this position? Bearing in mind that Clem does have a natural CC with mules, and he's about to land it. Behind this, Clem has a higher SCV count and mules as well, so he's had the stronger economy. He will break out of this, and even though Lambo was able to get into the mineral lane earlier, he didn't really do much economic damage. So Lambo's not actually as far ahead as he otherwise should be.
But luckily, with the armory done,
Like,
he
Clem's
can't
looking
transform
good.
Those Hellions into Hellbats. Lings are going to connect
Hellbats
with this
morph in.
anyway right now, looking for a surround.
Roast
Some
up all the
nice elevator
Zerglings.
micro
Wow.
With the Medivacs lifting up the injured Hellbats, so not too many losses sustained.
And
here
again,
by
Clem, he's got the superior economy, he's got the better army as well.
Now let's take a quick
Lambo didn't do
inventory
good
of
enough.
this
He didn't do enough
attack.
damage.
Lambo sitting at 33 drones to the 36 SCVs of Clem. Clem, up until this point, hasn't really been able to saturate the natural expansion just because Lambo's been occupying it. So the mineral income hasn't been excellent here for Terran, but now that natural is actually online, I really like this position economically here for Clem.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. The double
Not even
Medivac-
just economically, army-wise as well. Like, what can Lambo do? He has nothing. He has Ling Queen against Hellbats.
Also going to make it very
And a low
difficult.
queen count at that.
Queens on the map, so really no anti-air. A couple of Lings trying to find their way over on the other side, trying to get a
Yeah, there's no
counterattack,
saving
but
the
again,
third.
Still so many
Oof.
things there for Clem as
Lambo
well.
was so close.
Clem able
He
to
was
get a
so
nice
close.
stabilizing position now with a kill on this third base.
Catches
will
the
be great,
queen.
provided that these units can't get a last-second defense.
Seems like the hatchery will survive for now, but it's an expensive
nice trades
hole
out of
here for
Clem.
Lambo, who cannot afford to make any more drones. Instead, it has to be Lings. +1 melee attack will finish in just a moment, but there's only so much value to be gained by that versus all of these Hellbats.
Oh, the queen interception.
Now 35 drones to 44 SCVs is
Ah.
the main story to follow. Lambo, he has to drone back up. But it's a dangerous position because he's basically caged Clem over the last couple of minutes, and Clem has been building a bigger and bigger army. And now Clem is unleashed on the map. Now he's going for these dropship plays. The third hatchery here of Lambo is a very obvious target with how low it is on HP. And Lambo simultaneously, he not only does he need to defend this, about 4 medevacs. I thought this might be 2. It's 4 medevacs with siege tanks coming in. So the Hellbats are going to defend the natural expansion here.
Yeah, Hellbats say defend back at home. SCVs are going down. True.
Now what can defend the third?
Oh, the
of
match
Lambo?
repair.
This is a strong force. It's even got a tank in the fray as well. Going to make it very difficult for the slow Baneling.
And despite 12 SCVs going down, Clem still has a superior economy.
Micro potential is going to be
Still
huge
better for
here
Clem.
And this is looking like it's going to be dire straits for Lambo right now.
Oh, the target
Perfect
firing.
focus fire by those Marines, and
GG.
Clem will close this one out nice and easily with that defended proxy hatch yet again.
Yeah, man, Clem just a little bit too strong, able to win this series 3-1 over Lambo, and he's going to be advancing into the upper bracket final versus herO. That should be a showstopper series.
Yeah.
Honestly, great performance there by Lambo. I feel like a lot of these games were very close, and the proxy hatch games were so unique.
Yep.
The way that Lambo played it, it's very different to the proxy hatches that we typically see in Korean ZBT. I would love to explore kind of the potential of those builds a little bit more here, and hopefully we get Lambo a couple more Terrans and RSLs in the future.
Yeah, GG well played. Once again, we do see more committed variations amongst the Korean Zurich players, but that's typically done in other tournaments. State is a little bit limited just because he mainly only covers RSL and GSL. When it comes to online events, like we do see Solar, Shin, and Rogue mix in more aggressive variations of this. But I will say that regardless, really good series there out of Lambo. There's a world where he could have forced the ace match. Like again, Lambo, when he got into the main base, I thought that was it. I thought that was game. But the Hellions popped out. The Hellions, they popped out just in time, and then Clem held. On top of that, Hemi broke out, knocked down the hatchery, and trying to transition after a failed all-in is difficult there. Lambo, he was trying to drone up, trying to build up his third base, but he was just so far behind. Despite killing 12 SCVs, like he was still down in workers. Like he still had a worse economy. It was just brutal there for Lambo, and he did struggle against the eventual breakout of Clem. But he fought well. He fought well. GG well played. Did see a wide array of builds out of Lambo, and even saw him frustrate Clem from time to time, and not everyone can say that they've done that. So GG well played. And again, if you're a fan of Lambo, don't worry, because he's still in the tournament. He's still in the tournament, he's still competing, so you can see more of Lambo in the coming weeks in RSL. Bearing in mind that next week is going to be the final week of RSL to crown our champion. Likewise, we do have more GSL throughout the week as well. Let's quickly catch up with our schedule, actually. Un momento, there we go. So this is our weekly schedule. It is an intense week of StarCraft, not gonna lie. If you remember, this week was a little bit leaner for us, intentionally so, just because I did lose my voice at the beginning of the week. At this point, my voice, I think, for the most part, has recovered. So bam, we've got a full week of StarCraft ahead of us here. Tomorrow is going to be the OSC Rising Star broadcast alongside Universe Cup as a show match. We have Kung Fu Cup Tuesday morning. We have the Podcast, Pegasus Cups, last week's Pegasus Cup to catch up on that because you did miss it. GSL at the end of, GSL in the middle of the week. RSL at the end of the week. GSL in the mornings on Saturday and Sunday, and COVID Giants Cup on Friday as well. Now, this schedule is subject to change if my voice doesn't make it. As I mentioned, like, my voice for the most part has recovered, but it's still not at 100%. So we'll take it easy, but we'll take it easy, and hopefully we're able to make it through and go back to our regular scheduled broadcasting. Oh, hold on. Guarding the replays. Beautiful, beautiful. But here we go with that. So again, we have a full week of StarCraft ahead of us here. We have Friday evening off. That's going to be our half day off, if you will. But regardless, GG well played. And we'll see you guys next weekend for the finals of RSL. We'll see you guys in around 12 hours time with OSC Rising Star. That's going to be the OSC Rising Star day number 4, I believe, of our coverage. We'll see you soon. Also, I should mention as well that that Universe logo tomorrow evening in less than 24 hours, that is going to be a show match between Rogue and Zaun. Shout out to Universe. Universe, he recently did finish his military service. He's been hosting tournaments, or he wants to start hosting tournaments again on a monthly basis, and that is going to be a fun show match between Rogue and Zaun. Do tune in. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Until then, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. If you want to support the RSL, you can do so via the command !RSL in the chat. RSL does have a Patreon, so you can help support the Revival StarCraft League. Likewise, GSL, they have their Patreon. We have our Patreon. Like, there's a lot of support, or there's a lot of ways to support StarCraft and support tournaments if you wish. Again, an intense week of StarCraft is ahead of us, and because of all the RSL and GSL this week, we don't have a Tunic Cup. We'll make up for it next week. We'll make up for it. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao, hasta luego. See you next time.